Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to a very special WWE Fantasy Log. This is the first annual LOGies Awards.
Yay! Woo!
That's right, this is the program where we will be giving out awards to the best and worst of WWE 2016. Joining me, as always, are Jeff and John.
Here, I'm going to use that instead. Hi.
I would like to thank Jeff for coming up with the idea for these awards and for coming up with the list of awards that we were going to give, so thank you for that.
You're welcome. Thank you for coming up with the interesting name of the show.
Or the log, they're the LOGies. What would you call it, the opinionies? That would have sounded stupid.
True.
So anyway, yeah, we're going to go ahead and basically we're going to go in order for each award. We've each filled them out, so there's going to be differences. So for each round, we'll start with Jeff, then go to John, and then end with me. And we'll go through our all of the awards, and we have, how many do we have? 13 awards? I didn't count. 1, 2, 3, 4,
14.
5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Yeah, 14 awards.
No, there will be more for next year, but because
Probably.
of the timing of this, there's a couple of awards that should be on here that aren't for logistical reasons. Also, just to know, these are all wrestling awards.
Well, yes, it's a full wrestling award show. It's the WWE Fantasy Log. Of course, they're wrestling awards.
True.
Did you not read the title in the bottom right corner of your screen, man?
True.
Anyway. Yeah, so these are, as we said, all wrestling awards. There are other awards that are not on here. You'll know we don't have a match of the year. That might invalidate us in your eyes. We apologize if it does.
We will have one for next year, though.
Yeah, for the record, on behalf of the whole group, the match of the year is insert Sasha and Charlotte match here.
Mine'll be obvious based off the pay-per-view of the year.
That's fair.
Fight forever.
That's true. That's true. That was damn good. But we'll get there. So, with that, we're going to go ahead and kick these off. And let's go over to Marcus Shadow, who each round will introduce the award. So, what's first?
Indeed.
I should say Jeff. Why'd I call you Marcus Shadow again? Wrong show. Jeff.
Wrong show. So, the first award, and we're going to start at the bottom of the list and work our way up to, of course, the male superstar.
They don't have the list. They don't know what's fucking going in.
So we're starting with the worst WWE Network original show. That is the WWE Network original show you liked the least of the ones you have watched in 2016.
Yes, for the record, these awards, to count things for awards, they have to be things that you have seen.
Correct.
Not just things you have heard about in, hearsay.
And so here's mine. The Edge and Christian show that totally doesn't reek of awesomeness.
No, see, you're not clever, you fucking idiot. If you're gonna do that, the correct introduction for that is the Edge and Christian show that reeks.
Or that works too.
Totally reeks. That is how you introduce that program. If you're gonna make fun of it, this writes itself.
Fair enough, but yeah, I love me some Edge and Christian. Not too huge fan of Adam Copeland, but that's neither here nor there. But I love me some Edge and Christian. They're hilarious. This show, yeah, you guys are about 15 years too late with this show, guys. Like, there's some funny stuff in there, but on the whole, it just seems like it's the poster child for pathetic, desperate attempts to remain relevant in an era in which you're no longer relevant.
Yeah. Well, it's basically a nostalgia cash-in. It's hey, people come watch people that like you enjoyed this in the '90s. Here's the taste of that stuff you used to enjoy because we don't have it on our main program anymore, but it's still here for you to come watch. That was the point. And let's be perfectly honest, they did have some funny stuff on that show, even if the show itself was not that good.
They did have some stuff, but the couple things. One, the thing that made Edge and Christian work is you got them in small doses when they were actually on TV, not weekly show of just nothing but them. It's like, it's a little overload.
Well, nothing but them. They had guests.
Yeah, but they're the hosts, so they're like there the whole time. But the other thing too is, if watching Jericho flounder for the first half of this era taught us anything, it's that stuff that worked in the Attitude Era doesn't work now.
That is very true.
So Yeah, Edge and Christian show. That totally reeks.
We shouldn't play with fire. The
That
table
was
was
funny.
broken and I burned my scrotum.
That was funny. So we'll kick things over to
Over to John.
All right. So for my worst WWE Network original show that I saw, I went with Camp WWE. I only saw the first one. It was like okay, but I could tell it wasn't like I knew going in it was like Seth Green adult humor, but I don't know, just it was only okay. And versus the other stuff I saw, it just wasn't that good. I mean, I only saw the first one, so I wasn't that invested to watch more than that. And I was like, eh. So
I can agree with that. I think the show would have been funnier if it had been more like a pup named Scooby-Doo. If it had been more the WWE superstars literally as children, as opposed to it's The Rock in a tiny body. You're just like, wait, that doesn't work. And while one could argue something like a pup named Scooby-Doo was basically them in smaller bodies, you still got the feeling they were younger. They were kids. They weren't just the adult versions in that smaller body.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Over to Jim.
So I can agree with John over there.
Seconded. Yeah, I watched the first like 2 episodes, I think, and the animation is good. The concept is good. The execution is garbage.
Yeah.
Because there's some funny stuff. Okay, so they're fun. There's that's funny. The reactions to certain things. Like the idea is a great idea. It's just not being executed well. It seems like they're trying so hard for adult comedy that they're not cashing in on what they actually have, and that was the problem. Is they just didn't follow through with the great concept. Because there's great things on this show. Vince McMahon on this show was fucking hilarious.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was the best. He was the best part of the show. And the little superstars, they were fun to watch every once sometimes, but they didn't have enough good plot ideas for what would happen at this camp for people to do. So it was just, like if there's like what they should have done instead of we're trying to make realistic things happen to these campers, what they should have done is have ridiculous over the top things happen. And I don't just mean in terms of random whatever things that they were doing with the Vince is trying to keep them here or whatever. Have like random insane things happen that just don't make like they're all running from a bear or something, or there's some insane it's any Goldust at Stardust Land in it, or being weird aliens, any random shit. But you just didn't apply to that. You just went boring. John Cena's homesick, and that's a big deal. It had so much potential, and they just didn't meet it.
Yeah, I think I like the look of the characters too. I think they worked well. I think one of the big problems was that they didn't get the characters right. It didn't feel right with the characters. And, I think one thing that could have gone a long way, especially if they were going more for it's the adult superstars in like chibi form, basically, for lack of a better term, they could have got the actual superstars to voice them, especially since they're using ones that aren't fucking doing anything, like The Undertaker, Stone Cold Steve Austin, like, ask him to come in for 5 minutes and record some goddamn lines. You could even ask The Rock. He would do it. He could take 5 minutes out. He wouldn't be able to do, many episodes. But if he's there for like 1 or 2 episodes, he'd probably come into the booth for like 5-10 minutes, record some lines, and leave.
Yeah.
Right?
Probably.
Brie Bella, who injured herself. Nikki Bella, when she was injured, you could get her to come and record something. It's not like she's doing anything, and you're still fucking paying her anyway. She might as well do something.
Yeah.
But no, they went with like voice actors and voice actresses, and they tried to get the personalities of these superstars down, and I think they kind of failed. I mean, you need a voice for the Big Show. Number one, Big Show's not doing anything. Number two, John could use a better job.
There you go. I got kids.
Yeah, read the shirt, WWE. He's got kids.
Fair enough. Moving on to the next award.
Yes, indeed. So the next one, of course, is, as predicted, the best. And I forgot to lock and load this one, so give me a second.
Idiot.
My apologies. All right. So this is the best WWE Network original. And this one is mine. Table for Three. Love this show. It's by far the best WWE original I've seen on WWE Network. It's informative. It's entertaining. You get to, sometimes see people you haven't seen in a while, like the Divas Roundtable, where you got Molly Holly out of mothballs and Ivory out of mothballs. You're like, geez. And just they hear these stories and kind of sort of unfiltered a little bit, like where they're telling like the full stories and like the behind the scenes stories, as opposed to having to be, having to not tell these stories for fear of making the WWE look bad kind of thing. And it's like, I don't know. I just kind of like that look into that aspect of WWE superstar life.
Yeah, I wish they were longer though.
Yeah.
It feels like they start going with a story and then it like stops and you're like, oh, like.
Yeah. I agree.
But yeah, that is a really good show.
It is a good show. I agree.
And then depending on who's on it too, you get to see just how good of friends these people are, how well they play off each other, and the fact that they can joke around and stuff and still be serious. Yeah. It's awesome.
Oh, who was that kept eating the other people's food? I'm trying to remember.
I don't remember.
There was someone who's just like, "Oh, you're gonna finish that?" And he's like, "Oh my god, really? Fine, there you go." He's like, "Thanks."
I liked the NWO one because you got the sense they really were friends, because they were just like joking around the whole time and stuff and telling stories. Because like it was Hall Nash and X-Pac, I think, wasn't it? I think this was one of them. That was a really good one. But yeah, Table for Three is definitely my show of the year. John.
All right, for me, I went with the Cruiserweight Classic. Because that was just super entertaining. Like, I know it feels kind of weird because there was some other good, more original programming, but that it whether or not it worked on the main roster, it helped launch like the Cruiserweight division and them coming back and being on Raw and then getting their own show, and just. The Cruiserweight Classic itself, I think, was, for lack of a better term, like the height. It was, even though it was the start of it, it was just really good, and they had entertaining matches like consistently. And it was just, I really liked it, even though there was some stiff competition. I will definitely say, because I really do enjoy Road Trip, but I went with the Cruiserweight Classic.
Fair enough.
Over to Jim.
Over to me. I agree, but I went slightly otherwise. I give it to 205 Live because that's a network show. We forget.
True.
Yes. I've loved 205 Live since it came on the air. I missed a couple episodes and I feel bad about that. I did make sure when we recorded that stuff to go back and watch it because I did want to see it, because this has been a great show since it came on. It's given the Cruiserweights a chance to shine, a chance they weren't getting on Raw. When they were just on Raw, they were floundering. They were separated from the main roster. They weren't having storylines. It was just a bunch of dudes that came out and did some flippy shit. There really wasn't much going on. Giving them 205 Live has been a great platform for these guys to get themselves over. You got guys like the Bollywood Boys who got to tell their story on the premiere. You've got guys like Drew Gulak and Tony Nese who are getting over as a tag team as well as heels helping each other. You've got the slimy Noam Dar who's becoming this massive, ridiculous, creepy heel. You've got the amazing Jack Gallagher, the extraordinary gentleman, who is just awesomely over as a face. You've got Neville, who's just come back and destroyed everybody on the damn show. Just an amazing heel persona we didn't know he had. TJ Perkins has become slightly more popular. The Brian Kendrick has had a platform to spout his heel promos. It's been great. There's great. Tajiri's back. Great talent, great matches. They've been able to have their storylines and really let these guys shine. It's got the best commentary team in the company today. Morrow, Corey, and Austin Aries. I'm sorry, you're not going to beat that. That's a great commentary team. It's just a great all-around show. I love 205 Live.
I approve.
Back over to Jeff.
All right. It was a good show. Our next award, our third award, and we have 14 awards, ladies and gentlemen, so bear with us.
Yep.
The next one is the What the Fuck of the Year, or WTF of the Year. The moment out of the entire year of 2016 in wrestling, or WWE, that made you say, what the fuck?
Jeff, most of our viewing, I don't think most of our viewing audience isn't as old as you. They know what that acronym means and what it represents.
This
Just
is
saying.
mine.
We invented that.
Pretty much.
No
That is
Jericho invented that.
that is John Cena returning to SmackDown like 2 weeks ago. And yeah, was not prepared for the promo he cut. Completely made me say, what the fuck just happened? He went straight up heel. I was like, wow. I was like, okay, I hope they continue with this because that was awesome. One of the best promo Cena's ever cut. Holy crap.
Fair enough.
So yeah, that's my WTF of the year.
Okay, John.
Over to John.
All right, for mine, when seeing this and the next two awards, I knew what I wanted to put. I just had to figure out where to put it. And so for this one, I felt that this was the best place to put it, and it was Goldberg versus Lesnar. Because I just saw it and I go, if you ever watch our review, you'll know the story of I didn't see it at the time because I was gone for like 3 minutes to make sandwiches for the kids for dinner, but I came back and I was like, what the fuck? Where was the match? And I like rewound watch it and I was like, that was the what the just how what? Like I was dumbfounded. That was not at all what I expected, and I was just like sitting there like and so
yeah. When you first got back, didn't you think that Goldberg was still doing his entrance?
Yeah, because he was like hugging a kid in the crowd, and I'm like, oh, they haven't started yet. And then I was like, why are they holding up a 2-0 sign? I'm like, wait, no. I was like, what? I was gone 3 minutes. What the happened?
Did you say 3
minutes?
Yeah, I know that match went on about 3 minutes too short. But yeah, I know that's like Goldberg's matches, but with how they were building up Brock, I was like, they're not gonna do that, and then they did that, and I was like, okay. So yeah, had to go.
Well, Robin's been gone for 15 years. After with the build Brock had, they needed to legitimize Goldberg quickly. So they will do that. Then they'll have an actual match at WrestleMania.
Yeah, maybe. Just it felt weird on all fronts.
That's fair.
I agree.
The gym.
All right, mine is not because this was the hardest award for me to come up with. Trying to think of things that were what the fuck. So where's my list? So I ended up just pulling one that just came to my mind. Was one of the first things that did pop up in my mind when I was thinking about this. And this wasn't a what the fuck. This is more of a what the fuck. I'm using a slightly different connotation.
It's fine.
Because please, somebody, focus on me. Stupid thing. Because really, so explain to me. The fuck is this? What the fuck is the all day? What the fuck are you doing, club? What the fuck was this? No.
Yeah. Those were indie wrestlers.
Probably. And I really hope that nobody's figured out who they were watching that, or they are never going to get hired again. This was just fucking stupid.
The only part of that I liked was when they were joking that they couldn't attack them because it would destroy them or end the space-time continuum or something like that.
Yes. You see, that's it. That was the New Day because the New Day came out and they made it good because that's what they do. But
that was the only part where it's like, yeah.
I feel like I watch this and I'm like, what the fuck? Okay, I get what you're going for, but you're 15 years too late. This would have flown in the Attitude Era maybe, but not now.
Hold up, the old day is going to be on the Edge and Christian show that totally reeks too.
Pretty much. Also, tying into that feud, honorable mention to the club with Big E's balls in a jar.
Oh yeah.
And Nurse Dana Brooke. But
yeah.
Yeah, that was weird.
Yeah. And that was like that sucked about how that brand split worked out though, because if the split had gone another way, they could have brought out Nurse Alexa Bliss in a Nurse Harley costume. Come on.
You read my fanfic. No, I'm just
Ah.
Nice. But yes, that was mine the fucking old day. Because what the fuck? Just no, don't do that ever again.
I just
Back
like
over to Jeff.
when you have that there, like on my screen where the live button was like over that, so it looked like that was a live picture. Like, it looked like that was part of the picture. Like you just grabbed it off the screen and it was live. Anyway.
Nice.
Okay.
What's next, Jeff?
Now, I was trying to find online and see if they had who the members of the old day were, but I guess not.
Oh,
You were failing.
I was failing.
Them. That's messed up.
I was going to shame them. It's what we do here on the log.
It was probably like Cedric Alexander and shit before they debuted on the 205. Like, get those guys. They're practicing there. Just put them on.
All right. So the next one is the OMG Award. OMG of the year. And mine's already been mentioned. So here we go. That's right. It's Goldberg winning flat out in 3 moves. It's like, wait, what? Like, oh my God, what the hell did they just do?
Okay, like the next day, somebody on one of the sites I had in like their signature, they had an animated GIF. It was sped up, but it was the entire fucking match of that. They sped it up just enough, and it just fit in one animated GIF, and that's just seems fucked up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that match made me go, oh my God, what? Because I did not expect Brock to lose clean in 3 moves. I'm like, wait. Oh my God. You just wasted Brock. Oh my God. All that build up.
Yeah.
So my OMG of the year. John?
That is definitely a good place for it. All right. For mine, even though it was on the dirt sheets and stuff, it was when AJ Styles debuted in the Rumble. Because, like, I knew he was going to be there. I didn't know where. And so having him out at 3 was good. But that pop was fucking huge. I really think that the editors did, like, I think Roman could have sold it better. That was the only part of that where I was just like, really, Roman? I'm like, come on, you can't be that bad. But, like, just, like, seeing, and you could hear it there, but even just watching, like, a couple of, like, fan clips of it, just, that pop was massive. And I was like, damn. It's like, I liked AJ Styles back when I, saw him in TNA like years ago, and I hadn't seen him like in the interim, and just came back and I was like, oh, he looks like that now, and damn, people still remember him, and it just came out, and I was like, good on you, glad to see him here.
Nice.
Now, a lot of those fans probably watched NJPW in the interim.
Probably.
Yeah, NJPW, TNA, ROH. I mean, it's not everybody knows AJ Styles, even if you don't necessarily,
Yeah.
And let's not forget, he was very briefly in the WWE years ago in like 2002.
That's like forever in wrestling years.
I know. Just saying.
Over to Jim.
Let's see, what did I put for this? Where is my picture? Yeah. What Jeff said.
You used the same picture.
I did.
It's like the most telling picture.
Pretty much. I wanted to get a picture of him hitting the jackhammer, but the match was so short that there's no pictures of it on Google.
Yeah. Well, that's like the best picture because Brock looks fucking terrified. It looks like Slender Man caught him. He's just like, what? No, who are you? This is like an impersonator, Brock.
The other problem is the fact that when you try to search for images from this match, because it's a show short, all the images you get are from the WrestleMania 20 match.
Also, you want to be very careful Googling Goldberg jackhammer. Might not end up how you think. So
Actually, there is one more image I found, Jim. It's of Goldberg spearing Brock. Someone caught a picture.
Yes, I saw that one also. Yes, there is that one.
What someone
that was
needs
also
to do
in my fanfic, but not quite the way you're thinking. I'm kidding.
What someone needs to do is take that image and then take Undertaker guy and stick him right between Goldberg and Brock. Just put his face there like, yeah.
That would work.
That dude and that Miz girl, like the mileage you can get out of those pictures is amazing.
Yes.
Yep.
Uh,
Next award.
Goldberg and Brock allowing us to reuse memes. So yes, the next award is the biggest surprise of the year. You think that surprised you the most? Again, mine has been mentioned already.
Oh, damn. I'm just kidding.
AJ Styles.
Yeah. AJ Styles coming out at number 3 of the Royal Rumble. I was like, wait, guy, because I didn't recognize the music, obviously. I was like, I was like, who the hell is this? And then I just see the words phenomenal pop up on the Tron. I'm like, oh shit. Like, well, looks like business is about to pick up, King. And he did not disappoint.
No.
No, he was in there a while.
He was.
And you're right, that ovation was just deafening. So, AJ Styles.
Over to John.
Indeed.
All right, for my biggest surprise, I went with when Shane McMahon came back for the brand split. Because like it's like, oh yeah, Shane's coming back. I was like, no wait, what? Oh, he did. Oh, he did. Okay. And like not all of that went in a logical direction, but just the fact that he came back after such an absence was a surprise to me. But then also later you learn a little bit more about some of the behind the scenes stuff of why he left, and it became like actually more of a surprise afterwards. I'm like, wow, why did he come back?
Yeah, it went all downhill after Vince decided to punt after the pay-per-view.
Yeah.
He's like, "That fuck the pay-per-view, you're in charge." What?
That whole that whole thing was weird. Of like, yeah, you're gonna fight Undertaker. I'm like, why would Undertaker do it? And Undertaker's like, I'll just do it. And I'm like, what? It's like, there was a mystery briefcase that Shane mentioned that like had some secret that never came up again. And what the?
And because for some reason Vince McMahon can threaten Undertaker with his job. I'm like, wait, how does that make sense?
Yeah, no one else would be able to. No one else would want to hire the Undertaker.
Yeah. If you don't fight for me, your career's over. Damn it! It's like, wait,
yeah,
what? That worked?
Yeah.
He didn't just choke slam you to hell.
So I'm focusing on like the first 10 minutes, not everything afterwards, because that's where it just downhill's not even the right word. It looks like one of those fucking like Family Circus old ones where like it shows the path the kid goes through the yard and stuff.
Yeah.
Like I don't know why did this go here? I can't affect it, so I guess I'm just gonna be.
Billy still does that.
Yeah. Like,
and then it righted itself with the brand split. Because Shane's been okay since the brand split.
Yeah.
Yep.
Fair enough. Over to Mustachio.
Thank you.
I hope you're on that side. You said you were on that side, so if I point there, hopefully it's pointing at your box.
Okay then.
That's where he is on my screen.
Yeah, he's right there on mine, but he said that like we're in an order, so I think he's over there.
Well, I was looking at the box. Jeff is on the left, and John's in the middle, and me on the right. Yeah, you're pointing at Jeff.
Oh, it's right there.
Now you're pointing at me.
Anyway, your award.
Yeah, I was trying to find the stupid picture. Where is it? There it is. So, biggest surprise.
The brand split.
I give it to the brand split as a whole. The fact that it returned and the fact that it's actually working.
The fact that Foley came out of nowhere.
Well, yeah, but Foley comes out of nowhere consistently. That's not really.
Yeah, but Foley coming out of nowhere and siding with Stephanie. Come on now.
Yeah, that was weird, but it's just a matter of just the whole brand split, because the fact that they announced, oh, we're going to do this brand split because we think we have the roster for it. They did the brand split in such a way that they pretty evenly split the talent. They brought in new belts to compensate so that both shows had full sets of titles. And they're actually showcasing the talent on both programs. Plus, on top of that, they brought back the Cruiserweight division and brought in 205 Live. And on top of that, they got this new UK belt thing going on. The Cruiserweight Classic. There's all the stuff they've done since the brand split. That's been really, really good. SmackDown getting pushed to being an amazing show, and Raw being decent. It's not the best, but Raw's been better, but it's still pretty good. I mean, Foley and Stephanie are still entertaining. You had the New Day doing their thing for a while. Kevin Owens and Chris Jericho are great. Their feud with Seth Rollins and Reigns has been pretty good. So, it's not like it's been terrible. And I think the brand split's really been a success in terms of being able to showcase new talent, different feuds, different storylines, and really being beneficial for the company. I'm just hoping that they reevaluate their structure of Monday Night Raw in terms of how they're using their talent and what time they're allotting to what. Because I think they could really use their 3 hours a little bit better. Or just cut an hour, make it back to 2 already.
Yeah.
But the brand split in general, I was just surprised when they announced, oh, brand split. I'm like, what? Oh, shit. Because that was a big deal. So, brand split.
Yep, and allowing creative to create, with the NXT writers on SmackDown, hence why that show's actually good.
Yeah, a lot of that too. Definitely.
Like, we're going to let you do something that you haven't done in 10 years. What? We're going to let you do your jobs. What? You get to create stuff.
Pretty much. Back over to Jeff.
Indeed. So, the next award is the pay-per-view of the year. And this one is mine. Backlash
Good choice.
2016,
Good
the
choice.
first ever SmackDown branded pay-per-view.
No. That is a lie. The first ever SmackDown Live branded pay-per-view.
True.
Right.
It's the only one I could think of that actually stuck in my mind because it surprised pretty much all of us with how good it actually was. We were like, wow, was a good pay-per-view.
It was a good show.
So that's why for me it was the pay-per-view of the year. Just it's the one I remember.
Fair enough. Over to John.
All right. This counts as a pay-per-view to me. So, but I went with NXT TakeOver Dallas.
That counts.
That counts.
Was a really good card. I didn't agree with every match outcome. Okay, like one of them, but other than that, like it was a super solid card, and had my match of the year, the Shinsuke versus Sami Zayn. That was just a fucking great match.
Mm-hmm.
Finn Balor one was good. American Alpha got the tag belts. Like, I really liked that. I thought that one was super good, and the fact that it was on like WrestleMania weekend was just even worse. Where you're just like, ooh, WrestleMania is going to be just that little bit worse because it wasn't as. I know it's not going to be as good as.
Oh, it was more than a little bit worse.
I was about to say,
it felt it had more of a chance if it didn't follow that so closely. Is what I'm getting at.
Honestly, if we had a worse pay-per-view of the year, it probably would have been WrestleMania. It was that bad.
Let's be honest. It's number one. It's WrestleMania, and the fact that we had not one, not two, but 3 awards related to big moments, and nobody gave it to a Shane elbow off the cell. That should tell you something about the quality of that pay-per-view.
Yeah.
That's because everybody expected it, and because his fucking kid was in the audience. You're like, are you insane, Shane? What are you? And Randy Orton had to break character and comfort his kid because Shane was a fucking idiot.
That was later, wasn't it?
That was a completely different match.
No, it wasn't it? Oh, was that Survivor Series?
That was Survivor.
Why would Randy Orton have been in a one-on-one Hell in a Cell match between Shane and The Undertaker for control of the company? That makes no goddamn sense.
I don't know, but I think I remember seeing something about him being
a better match, Jim.
weird there, but yeah, it's just like, but he's still insane for doing that. You're just like, are you?
You know, you're thinking of Shane having to you're thinking of Randy comforting Shane's kids in the fucking Survivor Series match when Shane got speared out of the air by Reigns, who fucked it up and nearly killed him.
Right, but at WrestleMania, okay, that's right, because at WrestleMania he brought his kids out for his.
His kids were there. He walked out with his kids down the ramp.
I'm like, are you stupid? I mean, you want them to have that moment, but then you're gonna go from that to having them watch you almost kill yourself off of.
Yeah.
You're not young anymore, dude. That at your age, it's not, oh, cool, he's a daredevil. It's, he's fucking suicidal. Just, oh, that match was not good. That match was fucking terrible.
Yep.
But
yeah. And if we're gonna be fair to Shane, he's still younger than the Undertaker.
Yes, he is.
Yes.
Even though he looks about 20 years older.
Not really.
Of the hair.
Maybe. But that's because he actually has hair.
Yeah. That's why Undertaker wears a hat.
Remember Baldertaker with the mohawk?
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
Yeah,
exactly, John. Anyway. On to the next one. Promo of the year. And
do I not get to give a pay-per-view of the year?
Yeah, Jim has.
Oh, I thought you gave one already. Sorry.
No, we were talking about his, which was the WrestleMania thing. I think we were talking about the WrestleMania thing that tied into that takeover thing.
Fair enough. My bad. Over to Jim.
And this is why you're not allowed to host. One more screw up like that, I will revoke your hosting privileges.
Hey, you've screwed up before too.
Not like that. I don't skip people.
If you want to host the thing, you have to beat Undertaker in a Hell in the Cell at WrestleMania.
Yes.
On Legend difficulty.
With James Ellsworth.
Oh, God.
Anyway. So, pay-per-view of the year. I considered Backlash. I strongly considered Backlash, but one stuck out in my mind more. That was TLC.
Okay.
Because that pay-per-view was awesome. Miz and Dolph gave every fucking thing they had in their TLC match for the Intercontinental title. And Miz won cleanly without Maurice's help, which was incredibly impressive. The main event match between Dean and AJ was great. Even if Ellsworth got involved in the ending, it was still a great match, and it furthered the storyline. And everything else on the card was really good, too. It was just overall a great pay-per-view. I mean, yeah, okay, the women's title match could have been better, but every pay-per-view has a little bit of a weak spot, but overall it was still a really good, really entertaining show. I enjoyed it, and I felt that it was a pay-per-view of the year.
Fair enough. That is valid.
Yeah, it was mostly Miz and Dolph that did that, but yeah.
Fair enough.
That was a good match.
So, now, promo of the year.
Yes.
This should come as no surprise to anybody who's been actually watching the Fantasy Log. The Miz shooting on Daniel Bryan on Talking Smack. That promo was just holy shit. Such a good promo. And by far the best promo of the year, and probably one of the best, if not the best promo of Miz's career.
Definitely.
Oh, agreed.
And it seems like they're moving forward with it, allowing him to shoot more on Talking Smack. You know, like what happened this past Tuesday when he completely exploded and imploded and just, walked off. He got severely pissed off.
You can't explode and implode. Those are two polar opposite physical reactions. Like that would break the laws of physics. You can't do that.
The Miz defies reality.
Reality check.
Yeah.
But no, the Miz is.
No, if the Miz defied reality, he would star in good movies, not the Marine 5.
Hasn't he been in like 3, 4, and 5?
I think so. Well, let's say 1 was John Cena.
Yeah.
I think 2 was, Ted DiBiase Jr.
Yes.
And then I think the rest have been the Miz, haven't they?
I believe so.
Because one of them was going to be Randy Orton, but then they realized, oh, we can't do that.
Yeah, I believe the third one was going to be Orton, and then actual. No.
Yeah. I think it's been the Miz ever since. I'm not positive. Let's find out.
Yeah.
Marine. Let's see.
I've only seen the first one.
Look at this IMDb, the Miz.
I'm Wikipediaing just the movie. It's fine.
No, he doesn't. Don't IMDb the Miz, because then it'll show that shitty Christmas movie.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah. Marine 1 with John Cena. Marine 2, Ted DiBiase Jr. Marine 3, Homefront starring The Miz. Marine 4, Moving Target starring The Miz. Marine 5, Battleground starring The Miz. Also in the new Marine movie, if you haven't seen the little clips, are his wife Maurice, who was in the previous one, I think, as well as Heath Slater, Curtis Axel, and Bo Dallas. That's 3 other dudes that hang out with The Miz.
okay then.
I have to see that now. That sounds so shitty.
Yes, he brought the social outcast with him. Also, Naomi is in the movie and admittedly looks kind of badass. Just saying.
Marine, all you gotta do is Bo leave.
Does she have like the glasses and it says like Marine on it? Lights.
I'm a one Marine band.
Oh god.
Coming soon to bargain bins everywhere. Moving along.
Right. We've got to go save her. No, I can't do it. Yes, you've got a job to do, but I got kids.
I can't do this job. I got kids.
Let's go over to John.
All right. Well, mine's going to be pretty similar. It was definitely Daniel Bryan and Miz, where Miz shot him, because that was just wonderful. Like, I didn't see it at the time. I heard about it later, and it's like, oh, you got to see this. Is great. And then I went back and like watched the clip of it, and I was like, holy shit! Like, that was one of the best shoots I've ever seen, where he's just going, like, you could tell that he, that he was like really invested in that. He was like damn near crying at the end. And you're like, oh shit, like he probably feels bad that he's yelling this at him, but at the same time, like he's getting shit off his chest that makes sense, where he's just like, it's like, oh, you're gonna yell at me for being a coward? I'm a safe worker. I haven't been injured. I haven't injured other people. I'm like, he's right. I'm not a huge Miz fan, but he's fucking right. He doesn't do some of that crazy shit, but he's also not killing himself. And I'm like, I respect that.
Yeah.
The other thing too is I would imagine a large part of that, while a lot of it came from stuff within him and stuff that is real, I would imagine a large part of that was also him acting. Lest we forget, he was a reality star. So if it's one thing that Miz knows how to do, it's how to manufacture drama to make it seem real. Because it's what he did before he came into WWE.
You've never actually watched a reality show, have you?
Yes, I have. That's why I said manufacture drama. He manufactured reality.
See, the problem is whenever I think of him and him on the reality show, I unfortunately or fortunately saw that story time where he was talking. So now all I can think is about him watching real or road rules or whatever it was with his mom, with the scene with him having sex. His mom's like, your dad used to do that, and I'm thinking, what? And wait, what was it? The twirling? Was it the I don't She's like, he liked to be the center of attention. I was like, oh yeah, that sentence ended way different than it could have.
Yeah.
So when you're like, he's manufacturing drama, all I can picture is him on the couch with his mom watching him have sex on the show.
Presumably with someone significantly less attractive than Maurice.
Probably. Yeah, that would have been WTF moment is when the year I found out he was married to Maurice, which I think was like 2 years ago. You're just like, what the what?
Yeah, really. He's married to who?
It's like, damn, I want to high five him. That's good on him.
Yeah. Well, take the thing of people that don't know that Brock is married to Sable.
Yeah.
True. Fair enough. Right,
so
to the mustache.
So, I strongly considered that promo, but I knew you were both going to use it, and I wanted to add some variety to this award.
Good job.
So I figured it would get talked about. So I do need to open this with a quick question first.
Yeah.
Does this count?
It's blurry. I can't tell what that is.
I see Chris Jericho, I did.
It was the
Jericho
off-air
Rollins.
post-Raw promo from Glasgow.
Oh shit! Yes, that was awesome.
My name is Enzo Amore, and I don't belong in the WWE.
Did you
And
see
my
that,
name is
John?
Big Chris, and I'm 5'6" tall, and you can't teach that.
I will allow it because it was that awesome.
I'll tell you what you are. We're gonna spell it out for you. STUPIDIDIOTS. Stupid idiots.
If you haven't seen that, John, you need to see that. That was hilarious.
Yeah, for those that don't know what the fuck we're talking about, you may remember Raw was in Glasgow a while back. They were doing a European tour, and following this Raw, this was a off-air dark promo that happened after the main event. If you may recall, Kevin Owens and Jericho were beating up Seth Rollins at the end of the program, and then Enzo and Cass made the save. So post-program, Owens and Jericho came back out and went over and stood at the announce table and began cutting a promo on the other three who were still in the ring. And because they were off air, they were just kind of shooting at each other, and it was hilarious.
Yes, it was.
That was the best clip I could find because, unfortunately, not on the air, so the best footage we have is people's cell phones. So, but it was a hilarious promo. They went back and forth. It was great. They spelled out list. So I won the list. They called Jericho Sparkle Crotch. It's a great promo. It's about 11 minutes long. It's on YouTube. Watch this promo if you get a chance.
You want me to put on the list, Glasgow? You want me to put on the list? You don't deserve to be on the list.
Yeah, exactly. I will, however, say for the record, just in case that didn't work, I did have a backup that I will mention as an honorable mention real quick, just for the sake of it. Because I did really like it, and that was this guy here.
The club?
Club right here. The reason they're here, John, is because I know about you. If I go 1-1 and I lose to you, it's time to get out the shovels because that's how you bury people.
Yeah.
These two are my insurance policy to make sure I keep my head above the ground.
That was a good promo.
I like that shoe promo, so I put that on there.
Admittedly, I thought in the beginning, I thought you were going to make a joke and be like, oh, I didn't want to pick The Miz shooting on Daniel Bryan. I went totally different. I went when Daniel Bryan responded to The Miz about being shot.
No. Okay, next award.
The day Daniel Bryan wins promo of the year, we have problems. I'm sorry, I like Daniel Bryan. He's a great wrestler. Kind of crap on the mic. All right, so next award.
What's next?
Worst feud or storyline of the year.
Yes.
And it really was only one option for me.
Oh, really? Wow.
Yeah. It started out good, but it was booked horribly. It went on way too fucking long. And if you're going to do what you did, WWE, Sasha needs to win at the end. Because they would give Sasha the title, and then she'd immediately fucking lose it. It just completely delegitimized her. And from what I understand, from the rumors was that Vince McMahon just has no faith in Sasha. He just doesn't like her. And I'm like, well, then don't fucking use her. Don't make her look that bad. She looked fucking terrible. And for both of them, especially Charlotte, to have that many titles in that short amount of time. You're putting Cena to shame, woman. What the fuck is wrong with you? That is terrible booking. Oh my God, it was so bad. And I should have loved this feud because they're both great in the ring and their matches are phenomenal. They've had some of the best matches going through NXT and even on the main roster, but I can't stand this feud. It was bad.
Fair enough.
So that's why it's my worst feud of the year.
I understand where you're coming from.
John.
Over to John.
All right, for me, I went with Rusev and Reigns. Simply because I'm not a huge fan of Rusev, but the feuds he's been in kind of have a weird bend to him when you really think about it. Of like, because like on the old shows we would joke like, "Oh, our hero Rusev," but like these are even like worse than that. You don't even have to spin it. You just be like, Roman Reigns called his wife a slut, and he's defending his wife. Boo! He's not from here. Like what? He reminds me of like CM Punk with the like, I don't do drugs. Boo! Like no, you can't do. Or like with old Rocky Maivia, and even sometimes Apollo Crews. It's like he comes out and he's all smiley, and they're like, I don't like him. He's smiling. It's like weird things and that they boo people for. Like just because Rusev is not from USA, he's got to be a heel, even though he's defending his wife's honor. And you know, as much as I like Enzo and Cass, it's kind of funny when it's like, well, Enzo's trying to sleep with his wife. Damn him for beating up Enzo for trying to sleep with his wife. It's like, yeah, you know, that's kind of weird that Enzo's the good guy in this. But yeah,
Enzo's being insensitive by actually responding like a male would to a half-naked woman flashing her tits at him. It's like, really?
But yeah, so I had to go with that. Just from the angle of this seems weird that even though I don't like Rusev that much, he's the heel in this scenario.
Yeah.
When that doesn't make sense for what's going on. It's just he's not from the US, boo him. No matter what.
Yeah, pretty much. WWE logic.
I know.
I will say, if you want a great image to just juxtapose that entire thing, I happen to, because it happened to come on after Raw the other night. They played an episode of Total Divas.
Oh.
And it was pre Rusev and Lana's marriage, before they had the wedding. But they were engaged, and they went for an engagement photo shoot, and they happened to be in Tennessee. And so they went into this photo shoot on this farm somewhere, and so Rusev was just in these big blue overalls with no shirt and a straw hat, sitting on a tractor.
He's Hillbilly Jim.
He's Hillbilly Rusev. I was like, oh, that's kind of American. And Lana sitting there with him, and she's in like boots, Daisy Dukes, and like a plaid shirt that's open to show her tits.
Maybe before
I
wrestling,
suddenly want to see this picture a lot more now.
Yeah. Maybe before wrestling, Rusev worked on the Russian farm.
Yep.
Fair enough. We go from the. Yep.
Okay.
To the haired. Wait.
Okay, what the hell is this award?
Worst.
Oh yeah, worst feud or storyline. Yes.
Correct.
Okay, well, mine was already mentioned earlier in the program.
Okay.
I gotta find my picture.
Find your picture.
There's too many pictures.
I hope it's just James Ellsworth.
Too many pics. Too many pics.
No, it's not James Ellsworth, because that was at least entertaining.
God, trying pluralize or like possessive that is makes my tongue hurt. Ellsworth. That sounds
Ellsworths.
Yeah.
No, it was mentioned earlier. You're gonna fight the Undertaker. Why does he have to fight you? I don't know. Well, you lost. We're gonna give you control of the program anyway because fuck the match. We'll just make you lose the Undertaker for no reason. I mean, you did a psycho elbow, and you both kind of old. That could have just been a no contest, and you could have gotten power by default because you killed the Undertaker. But no, we're gonna actually have him beat you for no fucking reason because we don't know what the fuck we're doing. Oh, was it you have a lockbox? What is that? Nobody knows. Nobody cares what's in it. We don't know.
It kind of feels like when one of the Call of Duties came out and somebody was like, I'm not going to shoot during the intro, and they didn't because there's like always a turret sequence, and they didn't shoot, and the stuff blew up anyway. That's what it felt like, of like, you got to fight him and win, and he loses. Oh, well, you still get control. So it didn't matter that he fought. What?
Pretty much. You almost killed your son for no reason.
Yeah, and I will admit I agree with the end result because Shane has been great since he came back, got power on Raw, and then on SmackDown Live as the commissioner. But the road to get there didn't work at all.
Yeah.
No, they fucked it up.
No, that was fucked up.
Yeah, I can agree with that.
Yeah, just no. That's just a no.
The thing is, the build-up to it was great. They had a good build-up to it, and then it just blah.
Yeah.
Because the whole, I'm back because you guys done fucked up. Oh, and Dad, I'm holding something over you. That's a great storyline. Yeah. And then nothing.
Yep. Pretty much. Moving along
from the worst to the best. Woo. Woo. We're going to the best storyline feud. This was the one that I had the hardest time coming up with something for. And I settled with this one because I did really enjoy it. And it was probably Well, it is, in my opinion, the best storyline of the year. I will direct you to John's T-shirt.
He's wearing my shirt.
That is the storyline I'm calling. I'm calling it, I need this job, I got kids.
That's
it
fair.
is the tale of a one-man band named Heath Slater trying to get a goddamn job after not being drafted to either show. And
That was good.
With him, the Man Beast, Rhino, and they became SmackDown Tag Team Champions. It was a great storyline.
And then they lost the titles to the Wyatts and got immediately buried.
They did, but their storyline was still like the best of the year, in my opinion. It was so good. It's executed well. They took someone who you wouldn't expect to get over like that and to have a good storyline, and they made him have a good storyline before they promptly buried him.
And Rhino got doubly buried because he got buried by both the WWE management and the electorate.
Nice.
At least Rhino got back onto the main roster where he belongs.
True.
Because that's what called him up from NXT.
Yeah.
That is true.
But
and you were going to say something.
Any storyline that gets Heath Slater over has to be good.
Yeah, right?
Yeah, pretty much.
Just years where it's like, well, the NXT one was good, but he was like a part of it. Nobody really necessarily specifically cared about him. It was like the group as a whole, and he was like, let's be fair, in the lower half. And then, he's there, and you're like, oh, him, okay. And then even three-man band, you're like, oh, whatever, joke. And then, like, this one actually legitimately made people like him and care about him. And it's like, wow, damn.
Yeah, pretty much.
It's true.
Like, this storyline made me want to see Heath Slater show up. Because you rooted for that. You wanted to see him get a job. You wanted to see who was going to beat his ass this week so he wouldn't get a job. And you wanted to see him actually succeed. This WWE for years has been trying to do the underdog story, like the Daniel Bryan stuff like that. This is the way you do a fucking underdog story. That's how you get someone to root for the underdog. You make him the goddamn underdog, and you make him a natural-born loser, not Daniel Bryan, who has all the skill of Chris Benoit. That doesn't work. Yeah. You can't tell me someone who can wrestle like Chris Benoit is a fucking underdog.
Who?
That guy that lost in the first round of Greatest Wrestler of All Time to Jerry Lawler.
Oh, right. Fair enough.
Yeah, so that's mine. Over to John.
Over to John.
All right, mine is kind of a weird choice. I don't know exactly how this figures into one storyline, but I went with the brand split because I love the draft. So I love the idea of the brand split. And so it just kind of like the actual split and, that they called up people from NXT, that was super exciting. And, even the end of it where it started the Heath Slater thing, which was a really good one. So I kind of like, I like that. I love the brand split. I love the idea of it and what happened and how it transitioned into that Heath storyline with the, I need this job. I need to get hired, and how he was like the only one, and how that, holy shit, I felt so bad at him at the end of the show, and it just showed him, and I was like, oh my God, they didn't draft him. Like, that's fucking cold. But so yeah, I don't know if that's one storyline, but it's that chunk, just how that connected to me, I went with.
That counts. That's good.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So
over to Mr. LOGies.
Indeed. Picture.
To Mr. Log.
Fuck. The fuck is it? God damn it! There's too many. Oh, here we go.
Also,
I give it to Sasha versus Charlotte because, despite the fact that it went on too long, they put on some amazing matches and they had great beef with each other because of the history, but the whole women's revolution, because they came up together. They were together in the Performance Center. They were together in NXT. They came up to the main roster together. They are the John Cena and Randy Orton of the women's revolution.
Did you see sorry to interrupt, did you see the road trip with her and her father, Charlotte and her father?
I did not. Wait, I saw a part of it. I saw a little bit of it.
There's a part
where they refused to talk to each other?
That was in the middle, but like before they were angry at each other. when she's like, so is Sasha my Ricky or my Sting or something, and he's like, I think it's your this, and Becky's your Sting, and I was just like, I like that they can equate it, where it didn't feel like that's why they did it. It felt like they had, like I don't feel like they had those two feud to make, to be like, oh, this is Ric Flair and Steamboat or whatever. It just felt like that was a feud, and you could equate it, that
right
to one her father had, because like it was that strong, and it just it worked with coming up and those good matches. So
fair enough. But yeah, I said, outside of that, they did do a great job proving each other. Amazing heel. And she just got to showcase like crazy against Sasha. And Sasha really pushed well as the face, even though she had some injury issues and some ups and downs. It still was a great feud, and the matches they put on were consistently amazing, even if there were too many of them. It was still put on great matches, and it really was the feud that has defined the women's division for this generation. That's the one thing I've always said is I like SmackDown better in every way except the women's division, because I just feel like Raw just has the better women. SmackDown is great. Becky Lynch is awesome, but Alexa Bliss just isn't over enough for a good feud. Nikki and Natalya are good. They're kind of doing their own thing, but they're kind of the old guard. They're not really, there anymore. So it feels like Raw really got the focus when it came to the women's division. SmackDown got a little left behind in that particular aspect, even though they were excelling everywhere else. So the women's division was one of the things that kind of helped to carry Raw and kind of make that good. And they did have, a lot of first women's Hell in a Cell match. They had the second women's Iron Man match. Even if they weren't necessarily the best, they still just, they overhyped it and they went on too long, but it was still a great feud, and we can't ignore the positive part of what it was. And I felt that it deserved, for having dominated this year, for being that amazing feud and really solidifying the women.
That's fair enough. I will go on record as saying I think Charlotte v. Bayley is going to end up being a contender for feud of the year this year.
Hopefully.
I disagree, because it's going to end in about a month.
You think so?
Yes, because we all know what they want is they want to heel Sasha against Bayley, which is why they're going to build it up. Bayley's going to win the belt, possibly at WrestleMania, possibly on a show in between that and Mania. And then Sasha will immediately turn on her, beat the shit out of her, go full boss heel, and that will be the WrestleMania match. I'm calling it right now.
Fair enough.
Either that or it'll be a full-on triple threat. But I feel like they want to move into to do Sasha Bayley because that was such a big success in NXT. They want to recreate that.
As much as I want the triple threat, I almost feel like they have to do them all individually, so it feels like it culminates at a triple threat. Even if it takes like 2 years, I think that would be worth it.
Yeah.
So what you're saying is you want them to Marvel it, not Justice League it.
Yes.
Okay.
We'll see if they do that, because there is a heavy rumor going around that Sasha Banks wants to go to SmackDown.
I would approve of that only because that way you could, if you do that, you could let, like I said, I could certainly see if they build up the big feud, have Bayley beat Sasha at WrestleMania, have Sasha get drafted to SmackDown the next night. Let Sasha feud with Becky, which would be amazing. Let Charlotte go on and feud with Bayley, or have Bayley feud with Nia Jax. And that way you have one other young, really up talent you can work on SmackDown and have, Alexa still involved in there. And you're still, that would really help legitimize the SmackDown women's division while still having more than enough talent to keep Raw afloat. So I think that would be a great move if they did that.
And it would also give Sasha something that I don't think Charlotte will ever get. She will have held both belts.
SmackDown women's title? Yeah.
Yeah.
It's possible.
Because I don't think Charlotte's ever leaving Raw. I really don't see her leaving Raw. She's like the cornerstone of the women's division on Raw.
Yeah, probably not. You're absolutely right. I can certainly agree with that. But anything is possible. If they get to that point where they want to shake things up again, they could pull any number of things.
Especially if they redraft like Sasha back to Raw and put Charlotte on SmackDown, I can see that too. But
yeah,
fair enough. So,
the
next award, most misused superstar, can be either male or female.
Yes.
Ole, 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 ole. Yes, Sami Zayn. Why? Because he started the year as NXT champion, promptly got injured. Then the guy who injured him, who basically wasn't in there as long as he was, gets immediately called up to fucking Raw Sammy gets shafted when he finally gets called up to Raw, gets fucking nothing, gets injured again. You're just like, oh my god. And the thing is, it all comes down to the misuse of Sami Zayn, because what they're trying to do, they're trying to make him Daniel Bryan 2.0. It's writings on the wall. You can see it. That's what they're trying to do. The problem is they're trying to make him Daniel Bryan the same way they made Daniel Bryan, and you see how the fuck that turned out. Mr. Concussion over there running SmackDown. I rest my case. And that's where Sammy is heading, with how many injuries he's been getting, and how he's been getting injured, and how easily he's been getting injured. By the time they're ready to give him the ball to run with, he'll barely be able to fucking walk at this rate. He'll be so injured. And that just makes me sad, because Sami Zayn has all the talent in the world, and if they pushed him right, he'd be a mainstay. He'd be top tier. He'd be right there. You want an example of how to do a kind of that story right? That underdog story that's not Heath Slater? How you do that right, you look at Bayley. That's how you do an underdog story. That's how you take someone and you build them up. You don't give them the ball and let them run with it. You let them build it up, and you let them build up that trust with the fans and let them be the underdog without fucking killing them every night.
See, to be perfectly honest, if they want to use Sami Zayn properly, they obviously, they're trying to go the next Daniel Bryan, but they're obviously not totally sure on main event status. What they need to do with Sami Zayn, here's exactly what needs to happen.
All right.
That would make Sami Zayn amazing. You take Sami Zayn. You take him off TV for a while. While he's off TV, Sami Zayn loses about 15 pounds.
205 Live.
And then shows up, beats the crap out of Neville, and defines what it means to have a cruiserweight feud.
I don't think he needs to lose weight. I think he's within the weight limit for cruiserweight.
He's not. He's 220. They announced him as 220 on Raw. I paid attention to that. I was curious.
Well, it's WWE. They could Matt Hardy it.
They could. That's true.
Because Matt Hardy got the became cruiserweight champion at like fucking 240. So yeah.
Fair enough. But then again, that doesn't really mean a whole lot. I mean, Crash Holly was a cruiserweight champion. He weighed well over 400 pounds.
He was a super heavy.
May you rest in peace, Crash.
Indeed. Rest in peace, Elroy.
So Holly, I know he was. Obviously, he's got Molly was on the team. What the fuck happened to Hardcore Holly? Where'd Bob go?
He got pissed off at WWE and quit.
I thought he was a trainer, but I can't remember.
See, a trainer? I thought he got pissed off and quit. I could be wrong, though.
He probably did, but I think he does behind. I think he trains people. I don't know if it's for WWE, but I thought I remember.
Okay, fair enough.
Saying that
He might have like a wrestling school or something.
Yeah.
I could see that.
Fair enough.
But yes, that is my most misused superstar. Over to John.
That is definitely a good one. I wasn't sure if I should go with Sami Zayn or Damian Sandow.
Oh.
Yeah, just because like Sami Zayn definitely, but I feel like with him it was like they had moments where it was just like, oh, and then something would happen or they would forget about him or something. And he had like a giant chunk of the year that was where they were completely misusing him. But it feels like it's starting to get a little better. So I don't know, but yeah, definitely him and Sandow. I wasn't sure because like Sandow was doing shit to get over, and the crowds were popping for him, and they just. It's like they didn't know why or didn't know what to do, and for some weird reason, which I understand a little, where it's just like, well, I don't know why this guy's over. I'm gonna ignore it. Like, no, just let him do stuff. Like if he gets over on his own, that makes your job a little easier. But
except it doesn't, because I have two words for you. Zack Ryder.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Talking about misused superstars.
Well, friends, in fairness, the second part isn't their fault.
Yeah, but it's just I don't know. Like it seems like sometimes they get something where they don't have to put much into it, and it'll fly. Like a bird that they can just let fly, and they're just like, nah, fuck that, throw it away. It's like no. So I don't know. I guess a tie between the two because at least Sami Zayn still has his job now. I don't want him to get fired. I think he's really damn good. I think he was runner up for Wrestler of the Year like a year or two ago or whenever we did that. But at least for me, I mean, but yeah, just both of those two, they just misused them in terrible ways or didn't know what to do with them. So
Yeah, I don't think they're ever going to fire Zayn. I think they're going to Daniel Bryan him and run him into retirement.
could be, yeah.
Also, before we go on to Jim, I also want to throw a runner up because I just thought of someone else who probably deserves this as much as Sammy does, and it's going to surprise a lot of people.
Okay.
Cameron.
Cameron?
She was shit in the ring, but she steadily improved, and she developed something she didn't have at the beginning of her career, and that was a passion for the business. And she even fully acknowledged, yeah, I was kind of an entitled little bitch. Yeah, I didn't really much care about wrestling, but I developed that as I was around it, and I grew to love this business. And she tried to reinvent herself and came up with something original, something that other people didn't think about. She said, I've kind of figured out what we're missing in the diva division. It was the divas at the time, and that is a good my heel. I recognize I'm shit in the ring, but if you give me a mic, I can run with that, and I can be a Miz, basically. And she did. She took to the YouTubes and cut a heel promo to show that, hey, you guys are missing this. I can fill that void. And then she was promptly fired.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
Pretty much.
oh, because if anyone has seen that, that was really good. I was like, wow. I was like, okay, girl got a point. And I think if they had taken her and made her like the female Paul Heyman, I think it would have worked.
Fair enough. That would have been interesting.
But yeah, that's my runner-up. So over to Jim.
Okay. So I like your choices and your runners-up. Very, very good. However, there is somebody that's been overlooked here.
Okay.
Because, okay, fair enough. Sami Zayn not quite being used right, and they're probably pushing him too hard, and he's probably going to get injured again. Fair enough. Damian Sandow and Cameron got fired just when they were starting to get over. Fair enough. But at least Sami Zayn is recovering from this, at least somewhat. At least he's still on TV and being popular and employed. And at least in the case of Cameron and Sandow, the fans were seeing this and they were appreciating these people. And at least it was, in their case, a crime of ignorance, a crime of omission, a crime of we're just not going to put them there. It was not, on the other hand, a crime of let's just completely destroy your image and...
Oh, no. I know where this is going.
That's not a case of let's just completely destroy your image, your credibility, and shit all over your family legacy. I give you Stardust.
To be
AKA
fair,
Cody Rhodes.
To be fair, Cody's the one that came up with Stardust. It was WWE that changed the coloration and dictated half of the personality. But the look he came up with.
That's fair. I get that. But the problem wasn't that. Because he started it at first. It was interesting. He was hanging out with his brother. That was fine. But they didn't get pushed. Their supposed feud never happened.
Yeah.
And when Cody realized, well, this gimmick is really getting stupid and not working. I don't want to do this anymore. Let me go back to being Cody. They were like, no, you're Stardust. You want to get paid? You're Stardust. And it's like, wow. So you basically resigned him to this goofy-ass dumb character and just, destroyed his credibility and then shat all over his family legacy on top of it to the point that, he quit and left. And now he's holding a belt in some promotion. I don't remember what one it is, but he's a champion of some promotion.
Well, there's a reason they relegated him to this. It was making them money. You realize how over he was with the kids? They weren't about to give that up. It's the whole reason they haven't heel turned Cena until now. And even now, I'm not sure it's 100% heel turn. Feels like it, but it's because Stardust was a cash cow to the little kids. I mean, it says it all when one of the what is it? That foundation, Make-A-Wish for the terminal kids. One of them, his favorite wrestler was Stardust.
Wow.
And Cody showed up as Stardust, gave him a mask, did the entrance with him, and the smile on that kid is it's magical. And it's that kind of stuff. Number one, it's the charity work for WWE. Number two, the fact that a kid is saying, my favorite wrestler, Stardust, and if they look at the numbers, I guarantee you Stardust was probably up there in the sales when it came to kids. He was
Probably.
over as fuck. And that's why they said, no, you're making us money. You're going to do what we say.
Right, and that was part of the problem, though, is the fact that, yeah, okay, fair enough, the kids liked him and he was making them money, but he was given no push. He was jobbing, and absolutely nobody over the age of 10 had any respect for him. Okay, I'll say the age of 15 had any respect for the guy, because they knew who he was and what he was capable of and what his heritage was, and this is what they were giving him.
Pretty much, yeah.
And I'm sorry, I felt, like when he first did it, I'm like, okay, this is an interesting gimmick, and I was on board with it for a little while. But it just got to the point where they ran the gimmick into the ground. They were buried. It was stupid. And the fact that they would not let him change back when he wanted to, I'm sorry, that is ridiculous, because Cody was one of the brightest talents you had. Cody should be wrestling in the world main event on SmackDown right now with Miz and AJ. And the fact that he's not is a fucking crime.
Awesome. My God, AJ versus Cody? That'd be an amazing feud.
And the fact that he's not is a fucking insult. I'm glad that he went and he's being more respected as Cody in other promotions now. I know he signed with TNA recently. So props to him for that, but it's just a shame that they wasted such young talent. And this is why they've had those instances like they had last year when they had no talent because everybody got injured and they had nobody called up. This is why, because these people that you have that are great, you let them go. And then when the few people you do have get too old, you don't have anybody and you wonder why.
Yep, or the talent you want to push, but you don't want to push now. You push wrong and you get them all injured.
Exactly.
Daniel Bryan.
Yeah, exactly. It's insane. So,
pretty much.
Yeah, I gave it to Stardust because that was the first thing in my mind. Like, yeah, just such a fucking waste. And I'm gonna be honest, I mostly hated the Stardust gimmick. I was okay with it if Stardust was hanging with his brother and stuff, but it was a stupid fucking gimmick.
Oh, it was. Oh, I agree. That's a good choice. I didn't even think about him.
Yeah, so Cody.
Okay, that proves my point then. Because when I first saw this list, I was like, oh, most misused superstar. I was like, so are we not going to put Cody Rhodes then? And Jeff laughs. He goes, oh, didn't even think about that. You're right. And I was like, yeah. And I was like, I probably like I said to him, I don't know if I would pick him as number one, but he's definitely in like top 3.
Yeah, but I hadn't thought about him when I was doing the list. And
and then and now he's just like, I didn't even think about it. What? But and 2, I'm 8. See, I have toys. I actually like the Stardust gimmick because it felt fucking 80s. Like it felt like where they played characters, and I appreciated that. And I know he hated it, so I was okay if he changed it. But I actually did like it.
Which he did a little bit. The parts, and you could tell too if you go back and watch when he was Stardust, the parts where Cody was allowed input were the best parts of Stardust because Cody said from the beginning what he wanted to do with Stardust. He wanted to make him a comic book villain.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And when he was allowed to be that comic book villain,
when he was feuding with Neville,
like when he when he put like the bags over the heads and stuff, that was fucking amazing. When he was just like, just gonna go balls to the wall and I'm just gonna be a villain. It's like, yes. But when he started to become goofy, you're just like, no.
The bags over the heads thing was before he was Stardust, dude.
Yeah. But that's when he started doing the comic book villain stuff. Like when I think my guess is he probably had the input into that cape thing, but that made him look like Mr. Sinister. Yeah. And I like that they allowed him to change colors because one of the things he always hated about Stardust was that they forced him to be gold. He said from the outright, I don't want to be gold. I don't want to be my brother. And they're like, you're going to be your brother. And he's like, fuck you.
Yeah, pretty much.
But yeah, so when he actually was allowed to be a comic book villain, it was actually pretty good. But
yeah.
And when he had the Ascension, that gave them something to do. And
kind of.
His lackeys. Like, like stylistically, they didn't fit, but thematically, I felt like, that works. Those are his fucking lackeys.
Yeah, exactly.
I picture him on a throne, just be like, "Get them Ascension," and they're just like, and they run.
Yeah, pretty much.
Part of me wishes
John Cena.
Part of me wishes that faction was still around because I could have seen Mr. Sinister and the Ascension over there versus the Bullet Club, and just push the Bullet Club as face.
That would have been interesting.
Would have given the Ascension something to do.
Yeah, that's true.
Or just watch Mr. Sinister and the Ascension, which sounds like a really fucking cool rock band.
It does.
just go after the New Day just to see Xavier Woods.
There you go.
I don't know what to do. This is awesome, but I'm gonna get my ass whooped.
Pretty much. And this is the kind of thing where you're watching this, you're like, oh my god, like Mr. It's like there's superheroes running around. Where were you 15 years ago when the hurricane was here?
Right? He was probably in school.
Like, bring the Hurricane and Rosie back to fight them. It'll be great.
I liked Hurricane. He looks weird though now as the Hurricane. If anyone saw the tag team Apocalypto,
Yeah.
he showed up for a second there, and I'm like, he doesn't look right now as Hurricane, but it was awesome to see it.
Wasn't he also in that Total Nonstop Deletion as Shane Helms?
Well, that was the idea. Is he was Shane Helms. They threw him in the volcano, and he came back out as the Hurricane.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, he went in the it was like the River of Rebirth or some shit.
Oh yeah, like the River of Resurrection or some shit.
Yeah. He went in as himself, and then he came out with and was dancing, and then his tag team, like the Helms Dynasty, turned on him, and then he fell in again and became Hurricane and helped Matt Hardy bury them, and that was fucking line of the year. But since this is WWE only, that didn't get promo of the year. But
What was the line?
They Broken Matt Hardy and the Hurricane beat them in a graveyard. And he hits him with a shovel, and he's just like, the man with the 3 H's would appreciate how we have buried this young and promising talent today. And just fucking great line.
Yeah.
I don't care if it's a cheap shot. It's true, and it's fucking funny.
Yes, absolutely.
And it's clever, unlike things like the Voodoo Kin Mafia.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because they were in a graveyard, and he had a shovel, and they did bury them. So, like, literally bury them. Well, I mean,
yeah.
I doubt they were actually there, but it was supposed to be that they actually buried them by throwing dirt on them. I was like, I appreciate that.
The only way that would have been better is if he then followed it up with an Undertaker joke.
And now you will rest in peace.
Or he just picks up an urn and walks away.
Yeah.
Like if Helms was carrying an urn. Just for no reason, just in the background.
Or he'd be like, Hero powers, activate! Lightning strikes the graves.
There you go.
Anyway, so
moving along.
We
got more awards to do. Roll it.
Next one is
we got 4 more to go, people. 4 more. Stick with us.
Most improved superstar. Again, can either be male or female.
Yes.
And this was my pick. The Irish ass kicker, Becky Lynch. Because she started out, she was one of the 4 horsewomen, never got the NXT title, or women's title. Came over as part of the Revolution, got promptly buried. And no one really gave a shit about her. All they cared about was Charlotte and Sasha, until we had a brand split. And then she became the cornerstone of SmackDown.
Yep.
And I've always liked Becky Lynch, like even because I saw the NXT match, the NXT Takeover match. She had, I think, she fought Sasha, right? I think it was. That was a hell of a match.
Yes.
And
Indeed.
It earned the respect of the crowd. She certainly earned my respect because that crowd gave her a standing ovation after the match, and she lost that match. And I was like, yeah, woman's got talent. That was one crazy match. And to see WWE like fucking do nothing with her up until the split. And finally she gets her shot. Finally they give her the ball. She runs with it. And, results speaks for themselves. I mean, yeah, the Raw women's division is better than the SmackDown ones, but I mean, she's not doing a bad job. She's doing great over there with the talent that they've got. So I give it to Becky Lynch because, I mean, to go from that to first ever SmackDown Women's Champion, you got to give it to her.
Oh, yeah. I can agree with that.
So, over to John.
She has done well.
That's definitely a very good choice. I hadn't even considered that. I should have, but and yes, that match with her, Sasha, that definitely opened eyes because that's when I was just like, oh, you're not just a shitty tag along heel. You're damn good. Okay, good. So for mine, this is a weird pick again for me because it's not someone I personally care a lot about, but I gave it to Braun Strowman. Just because, how many jokes did we make about him? Just like I would see tons of, even on message boards, just call him like Big Blank McBlank something, like it was just that, and we were that young up and comer, and he was always just the giant gomp in the Wyatts, like It was just like, oh, him. And then they like split him off. It's like, the hell are they going to do with him? Like, it's like, oh, and Corey's selling it like, oh, without Bray to control him, who knows what's going to do? And they actually ran with it. And, you know, he's gotten a lot better. He still squashes people, but he's had matches where that's not all he does. You know, like, especially the feud with Sami Zayn, where like they had a 10-minute match. I mean, to be fair, if you had asked him like at the start to have a 10-minute match, he might not do it. Like Baron Corbin barely pulled that off. He had the one, you know, like a year or so ago. And so I think he's actually really improved. And it's weird to say that because I don't personally like him that much, but he's gotten a lot better where he feels credible. He doesn't just feel like that. Like, you know, like I said, where he was the Gomp and the Wyatts, where it's like, oh, just call him out, beat him up. Oh, he's just generic big guy. And he's still kind of like that, but feels more legit. Yeah.
That's because they're actually letting him wrestle. He's actually is legit. They just don't. They're basically saying wrestle like the Big Show.
Yeah.
Because the best match of his, best WWE match of his I've seen was actually a dark match. I can't remember who he was facing, but he did a legit Shawn Michaels kip up. I was like, what the fuck? It's like someone that size should not be able to do that.
It feels like when he does, it feels like someone that size doing that actually makes something explode and implode at the same time.
Pretty much. I mean, that's the level of talent Braun Strowman has that they're just not using.
Yeah.
Like, dude is agile, man. He can move. But they're just like, no, you're going to be Big Show 2.0. It's like, oh.
Well, no, because what I've read on the dirt sheets was the idea is they're going to let him do that, but they didn't want him to throw the whole package out right away. They wanted to build him up as this Big Show 2.0, this big, strong dude, so that after having done that for a while, when he suddenly breaks out in moves and actually wrestling, it would blindside people. They would be expecting it. It would be a big deal. That's why they're working it in slowly, letting him do more. They didn't throw it out all at once, or it wouldn't have been as big a deal.
That seems like a good idea. I feel like they didn't have that.
I also find it funny that you're like, yeah, they want to blindside their audience, except they tell them to actually wrestle in the dark match in front of the fucking audience.
Yeah, but that's okay. Fair enough. So he's sitting in front of the audience, and a few thousand people see him do that. That's not the billions that watch around the world. You know, there are things that are not televised don't count.
Yes, except this is the age of the internet. If one person sees it, it's not blindsiding the audience because he'll tell everybody in the fucking world about it with one post.
Yes, but the majority of people on the internet don't hear. A lot of people don't hear about that. They just watch the show.
Yeah,
true. But like I said, this was a YouTube video, and yeah. So it's like Braun Strowman wrestles dark match. I'm like, and I think the title had something akin to the kip up thing. I'm like, that can't be real. I clicked on it. I'm like, okay, I got to see this match. And I was watching him. I'm like, okay, he's not bad. He's wrestling. Oh, he got knocked down. Oh, he actually got knocked down. Boom, kip up. I'm like, the fuck?
There's your WTF moment.
Pretty much.
Honorable mention WTF moment. Okay. Mine went up. All right then.
Or to Stachio.
To me.
To you.
To me.
To you.
To me.
Ta-da!
I give it to The Miz.
I considered him.
I gave it to The Miz because this time last year, he wasn't even on any pay-per-views, and the only time he did show up was at WrestleMania in the Intercontinental Ladder match, where he accomplished basically nothing. So
he was filming a movie.
I know, but still, fact of the matter is that was his, he films movies, and he was just this shitty heel that nobody took seriously and just came out talking a lot of crap about being in movies. He didn't do much, but over the course of this year, to the combination of his in-ring skills have improved by miles, bringing in his wife Maurice to support him, toning up his promo game, everything that he's been doing has made, hold that Intercontinental title reign. He has been amazing.
Yeah.
And you can't tell me that gold robe isn't awesome.
Let's be honest. Half the reason anyone gives a shit about The Miz right now is because of his hot French-Canadian wife.
Yeah, well.
I can't deny that she is hot.
It's true, she's very hot. But the fact of the matter is, it's not just that. It's that Miz has been cutting promos so good. He's doing so good in the ring. He, like I said, the match he put on with Dolph Ziggler at TLC, the matches he's putting on with Dean Ambrose. He's just been on a roll, and it's been great. And I love that they gave him the title, let him run with it for a while. And he's just really improved by leaps and bounds to being a huge legitimate heel, to the point that I wouldn't be shocked, depending on what happens with Cena AJ, if AJ retains and ends up face turning. I could see the Miz becoming the main heel on SmackDown and feuding with AJ.
Yeah,
he's that good now. He's gotten back to where he was back in the days when he was super heel feuding John Cena, except this time he actually has the ring skills to back it up.
I will admit,
I don't know if I go that far.
When you said he like improved by, it's like he improved so much and he was getting good promos, I honestly thought you were going to be like, and you can't teach that.
No, that you can teach that.
So speaking of which, now that we're on the topic of the Miz, that also gives me another couple of runner-ups for the WTF moment of the year. One is the return of Maurice. It's like, what? Like out of nowhere, she just literally shows up out of nowhere. You're like, huh? And the other one is the Spirit Squad. Again, what? And it was so what the fuck that when they showed up, we didn't even realize it was actually them. We asked the question, wait, is that actually the Spirit Squad? We had to look that shit up on the internet to find out it was actually them. It's like,
wait till next year when they cap it with Shane bringing back the Mean Street Posse.
Please. That would be awesome. Bring back the gas mask.
There you go.
But yeah, I mean, you can't deny that Maurice just coming the blue fuck out of nowhere isn't a what the fuck moment.
That's true. That was cool.
Like, no hype up, no build up. She was just there. And you're like, huh?
Yep. It was good. It was good. Next award.
Indeed. The next award is
time for the three big ones, folks.
The best tag team or stable of the year. There really is only one option, despite the fact I didn't really feel they were that great a stable just because of what they accomplished. You kind of have to give it to them. The New Day. Just breaking the record, getting so over with the fans. I mean, lasting that long in not only the eyes of the fans, but the eyes of WWE. The fact that WWE was willing to take these three misfits and just be like, here, break the record. You're like, that doesn't happen, people. And this is a little personal for me, too, because Xavier Woods, I mean, Dragon Ball, Power Rangers, video games, I mean, wrestling. Yeah, exactly. I mean, that's the other thing, too, is the fact that Xavier, who is this huge fucking nerd, and is also a wrestler, but he's a huge fucking nerd, breaks a tag team title record. I mean, when or where does that ever happen? And so you kind of have to give it to these two coming out of obscurity, because they were all obscure, and Kofi fucked up his gimmick, called out by Triple H, and stuff. So they were obscure. Kofi was just, mid-tier at best. To just pull him out of that and be like, nah, you're gonna break the tag title record.
Well, remember, that didn't happen at first. You have to remember. I also gave it to the New Day, by the way, if people haven't figured it out. And I have a better picture. But anyway, you have to realize, when they first started, remember the first time they came out, they were going with like some pseudo-Christian gospel thing the first time they came out. Then they disappeared for a while. Then they came back and they were trying this New Day thing. And it took a while to catch on. People weren't sold on them at first. No. It took, several months before they really started to get over and really started to be able to become the New Day that we know today. But we had the unicorn thing and the Bootios and all the stuff that they are. That didn't come. It took time. They were, they did 6 or 8 months of build-up with this team before they won the titles. And they got to the point where the New Day was so popular they kept the titles and realized, hey, you're almost at the record. Let's beat the record. And then they went over to beat another record. So that was, they worked for that. I mean, they were three guys who were friends and decided, hey, we can get ourselves over if we, do what we need to do. And they did it, and it worked. And that's what was great about it.
Yeah, they're also a testament to what can happen if you go to your talent and say, do yo shit. They're basically kind of this era's version of The Rock, because that's kind of how The Rock came about, because Rocky Maivia wasn't working, and Vince just said, okay, Dwayne, do your shit. How do you want to run this? And he's like, well, what if I just cop an attitude, and what if I'm kind of me? It's like, okay. And he did that. Boom, The Rock. That's kind of what happened here. This came out of the minds of these three gentlemen.
Yeah.
Now, not everything they've done worked. Some of their
No.
shit's been stupid, but their success was born out of their passion for the business. Their, well, as Corey says, their love for each other. They're basically brothers at this point. And their chemistry, their godly chemistry, and just their nerdiness. They're all big nerds. And they're like, well, let's translate that into, because nerddom is huge now. And we are nerds, and we're not going to hide that. Let's run with that in WWE and see what catches on. And as it turns out, shock and awe, guess who the majority of WWE's fan base is? That's right, big fucking nerds like us.
Pretty much.
I'm your daddy and your uncle.
Right?
Yes. Just a question, Sean. Did you also give it to the New Day?
I didn't, but that is a great choice.
Okay, well we'll get back to your choice in a second here. I apologize for jumping here, but I figured we'll just get it all out of the way at once. But yeah, and I was glad to see this because I knew that they had some potential even early on, because Xavier came out and his goal when he started to come out was, he yelled it's Morphin time and did nerd stuff when he came out. I'm like, all right, that's cool. And we knew Kofi was talented. Biggie was always the question there, because he could have very easily come in, and they booked him for a long time as just the big muscular dude. I mean, remember he was the enforcer for AJ Lee and later who were they hanging out with? Dolph
Ziggler.
Yeah, Dolph.
That's when I knew Big E had talent, because if you recall, during that feud, he was always the big silent guy, except for one bit when they gave him a microphone.
Ladies and gentlemen, Big E Langston here live.
Yeah, and when he opened his mouth, I was like, okay, this dude is hilarious.
That was exactly the moment I was going to bring up. And exactly when he got that one little line there, it's like, oh, this dude has mic skills. I hope they let him use this at some point. And there you go.
Yeah.
So, in summary, New Day rocks. New Day rocks. New.
Oh, yeah, and did we
Day
mention
rocks.
Xavier Woods is also a musician and a fucking doctor?
Yeah.
So there you go.
YouTube.com/up, up, down, down.
Indeed. That's a great show.
All right. Enough New Day. John, who did you give it to?
All right. For me, that is a great choice, I will say, for New Day. I gave it to American Alpha just because I really liked them. Because you had Jason Jordan in NXT for a while, and he had a couple different partners that wasn't really working. And I was like, yeah, okay, this guy's got some talent, but I don't know what they're gonna do with him. And then you put him with Chad Gable, and it was like fucking magic. Like you can't even explain. It's just Chad has this charisma, and you just look, and just together they're such a great like odd couple. How it, how it formed in NXT, and just them finally getting the belts. That was just. That I love that. I was just super happy for that. And then they got called up, and I thought that was awesome. And I don't
promptly buried.
Yeah, that kind of sucked, but they were still on the main roster. Like once they added Chad Gable, like he's fucking ingredient X or whatever that the guy pours into the Powerpuff Girls. Like once they added that, they just they became just super over really quickly. And it didn't feel like forced. It was like they just put them together and it just worked. And yeah, even though they definitely didn't do everything I wanted them to do on the main roster, they do have the tag titles now. I don't remember if they won it actually in 2016 or 2017. I don't remember what day it was. But the fact that in the future
they won the titles off the Wyatts on December 26th, the final SmackDown of 2016.
Oh yeah. So yeah, even then, they were NXT tag champs and then got called up and then eventually got it there. So I went with them because I really like them. That was one of the choices where it was like, I could pick. I felt like I personally wanted to pick them, and it felt good to pick them because of I had some reasons.
Right.
So it wasn't
a good choice.
just. Yeah, it wasn't like pure personal or pure non-personal or pure professional. So.
And presumably, they obviously are a very qualified tag team, so I'm interested to see them run for a while. And then, based on the description of them of their coming together that you put together, I'm also very interested to see after they've done tag team runs for a while, when they separate and Chad Gable becomes a new Shawn Michaels and Jason Jordan gets Janetti'd.
Sadly, that could happen. Also on the what was that show? Breaking Ground, right? The one where they talked to the NXT people?
Jason Jordan will get Shelton Benjamin.
But they were like, I felt so bad for Chad because one of those he was talking to him. He's like, you know what all the greatest tag teams do? And he's like, what? And he's like, they're best friends. And Jason Jordan's like, yeah, okay. He's like, so we should be best friends. And Jordan's like, I don't know, man. I was like, shit, that's cold. We're a good tag team. We work well together. Let's be friends. He's like, maybe. I was like, I can't tell if he's a cold or a dick. Like, and it didn't. And I feel like that was him because it didn't like come into the story. But I felt even worse.
In all fairness, if you jump the brand barrier, there's living proof that you don't have to be friends to be good tag team champions.
Yeah, no, that's true.
And I will say, Jason Jordan will never get Shelton Benjamin because there's only one other person, as far as I can recall, in the history of WWE who fucks up that much, and he's Mexican.
Uno or Dos? Which one?
Both of them.
Azul or Negro?
Yeah. Zeus came down from the heavens and split them in twain. They're actually one person.
They're actually Kryptonian. Boom! You both understood what I was referencing. And now let us never mention that ever again, because that was shit.
Go to the next award.
Right. But yes, that was a good choice, Sean. The next award is the Best Female Superstar of the Year.
Yeah.
And again, there's really only one choice. The Queen.
Oh.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
You went with her too, John?
That's a unanimous. All right, I like that.
See, I like her. She's not that good on the mic, in my opinion. I know some people like her. She has about the mic skill of her father. And that's to say I don't really like Ric Flair's mic skill. Maybe when he was like younger, when he was in his prime, but old man Flair, he just sounds like a drunkard. He
was better in his prime, and as funny as it is to watch him like elbow drop apples, it's fucking weird. And you're like, I think this guy snuck in. Security should take him out.
In all fairness, though, given proper opportunity, Ric Flair's promos, Ric Flair could still promo, because the one that comes to my mind from his time when he was in TNA a while back. Because the thing about Ric Flair is, Ric Flair is old school. And the thing about Ric Flair is, his promos might not be the best per se, but his promos have something that modern day promos don't have. Alcohol? Or that a lot of modern day promos don't have.
Alcohol?
Besides that.
Okay.
Because you clearly never listened to a Dean Ambrose promo. Anyway.
Touche.
Yeah, I don't know what I'm going to do. I'm just going to go out there and do whatever I want to do. I'm going to beat up AJ and take his title.
Hey.
Anyway.
Hey, AJ. Gonna have an asylum match.
Yeah, pretty much. But anywho, the thing about Ric Flair, though, is he has passion. A passion for this business that most people don't have. You know, and that's why, you feel whenever he cuts a promo, he's putting every ounce of his being into that promo.
Yeah.
It's not like you see a lot of these guys come out and they're trying to be intense, but there's nothing behind it. Or something like that. It's not like, it's like even like you look at John Cena. John Cena can cut a good promo. He's John Cena. But John Cena's promos a lot of the time tended to air more toward the, the reason I'm going to beat you is because I'm John Cena and I come out here each and every week for these people. That's his kind of promo. It's a steady. Once in a while, he goes a little over the top. Once in a while, Cena does show that passion. You think you can better talk some? You think you're the people? Well, you want some? Come get some. He'll do that every once in a while. He can go there. Ric Flair is at that level every time he picks up a microphone.
Yeah.
I remember they were doing a thing in TNA where they had the freaking what was that? The main event mafia going on over in TNA, and they NWO'd it because like half the roster was in the group at that point. And they ended up with a thing where there was like two factions in the company, and everybody was in one or the other, and they were fighting with each other. And Flair was leading one of them. And there was something where I don't remember who he was cutting the promo on, but somebody was in the ring, and Flair and a bunch of his dudes were on the ramp. And Flair came out. I only saw this clip, but Flair came out, and there was some kind of a bit where basically whatever was going on in the ring, whoever's there was banned from wrestling for whatever reason. Like there was some kind of a thing where somebody lost a match, there was a stipulation, and he was banned from either wrestling or from having other people in the building, or there was some kind of a ban involved. And it was kind of like that time John Cena had the power over the authority of whether they would be there or not. It was like that. Mm-hmm. And basically, Ric Flair somehow had authority in this instance, and Ric Flair was with his other group. And I remember he marched out, and the guy in the ring just started provoking him and just talking shit to him. And just Ric Flair was just like boiling, like he was at the thermometer, and you saw the red going up. And he got to the top, and he was turning red too. And it just got to the top, and Flair just started screaming like, you want the Nature Boy? You think you can stop me? You want to do this? All right, I am lifting the ban. Let's do this. Woo! Like every time he makes a mic, Ric Flair can do the intensity, like when he was out there with Charlotte and stuff, and he was putting even when he was sad, the cry, like, oh Charlotte, why are you doing this to me? I'm your father. I love you. You can't do this to me. Ric Flair has passion and emotion in his promos that most people don't have, even at his age. And that's something that I think a lot of promos in this day and age lack. And I can prove that fact because if they didn't, people wouldn't be sitting here this entire program and for several weeks going, oh my God, The Miz put passion in a promo against Daniel Bryan.
Yeah, this is true. So that's why The Miz is on our list.
Right. And exactly. And that's why he's on the list. And that's why. And that's why, you don't see that kind of passion anymore. That's why, you see people like John Cena who can bring it out occasionally, and that works. It's good balance. But then, Seth Rollins comes out. He's like, Triple H, you're a coward. You need to come out here right now so I can get my, some of these guys can do it. And then get someone like Roman Reigns walks out there like, it's cool. You want to come down here? I'm not a good guy. I'm not a bad guy. I'm just the guy. It's like, no. Nobody gives a shit about you. You just don't sound like you care about being here at all.
Well, that's the thing, though, is with Roman Reigns, they're letting him be him because you have to remember he's an islander. He's got that, like, the island Hawaiian mentality of, it's cool. You want to come to hell? Whoop your ass. You want to come down here? That's cool. I'll come to you. I don't care. Because the Islanders are laid back, and that's kind of what they're going for. They're going to that, that hang loose kind of mentality.
Right, which is fine. But there's a limit. There's a line. Because at some point, he's got to show that he's actually getting intense and caring about what's going on. And I have not seen that from Roman Reigns, and I feel that's kind of a problem with him.
Hence why The Rock worked, because he figured that out fast.
Exactly. There needs to be a balance in your promos. You need to be able to deliver that intensity and that emotion. You have to make people believe it.
Yeah.
If people don't believe it, you're not going to sell. That's why Mrs. Promo was such a big thing. Because, number one, you believed it. It felt like he was legitimately expressing these feelings to Daniel Bryan. You weren't sure if this was written or if he was legitimately doing this. The same thing with the kind of thing like when, you might remember like a couple of months ago when Dolph Ziggler came out right before he had that I'll win the title or I'll quit match. And he came out and cut that promo about, you come out at the end of the day and you put all your effort in, but sometimes it doesn't pay off. And like starts crying. That was emotion. That was legit. You believed that because you knew it was true.
Yeah.
When they let people go out there and actually use their own passion in the promos, it works. And that's kind of why. And sometimes it works the other way. I'm Mark Henry. It's been a great career. Psych, you all suck. If you let them use passion in the promos, that's one thing that they like is everybody's a smart now. There's the internet. Everything leaks now. You need to raise your game to blur that line between kayfabe and reality again if you're going to have this supposed reality era.
That's why CM Punk was so good.
Exactly, because you didn't know. Well, he's leaving with the title. Oh, but he showed up to talk Triple H at a con with it. Oh, he's cutting a pipe bomb promo about all the shit that's wrong. Yeah, exactly. They let him blur the line. And that's what was good about a lot of these things. Is if you let them blur the line with their promos, if you let them, put that passion in there, if you have that passion and you show it, people will be interested. They will care. If you come out and cut the same crap week in and week out and you don't sound like you care, no one will believe you. Even if it's something you necessarily shouldn't care about. Even if it's Kevin Owens comes out and cuts, a 10-minute promo about how much he loves the Universal Championship, you believe that because he's a prize fighter. You believe he loves that belt more than life itself. It gets him. It works.
Exactly.
Even
going back to Charlotte, she doesn't.
Charlotte does not quite have the promo ability of her father.
It sounds like she's reading off a script, is what it sounds like.
Sometimes it does, yes. But she makes up for that by just having the ability to come across as a complete and utter bitch.
Yeah. I was going to say, the reason she's on my list is because she has undeniable ability and the genetics to back it up. But more than that is the fact that WWE had the confidence from day fucking one. The minute she stepped onto the main roster, they had the confidence to give her the ball and say run. And she's delivered at every step.
Oh, yeah, totally. And that's one of the why it is great to see Charlotte be able to do that. And the fact that she may not put the passion into the promos, but she's meticulous in her promos.
Yes,
she'll come out and say, I need to apologize to my father. I was so wrong. I mean, seeing him raising Charlotte's hand, I realized what a horrible mistake I made. Dad, could you please come out here? How dare you support Sasha Banks, you asshole! I am your daughter. I am your flesh and blood. And I am better than you and her.
That was probably the best promo she's cut all year.
Oh, yeah. She can cut great heel promos, and she can lure you into that thing because you don't know when that heel's coming. She's such a great when she flips that switch to heel mode, she is the most I don't give a shit, I love the fact that you hate me heel you will ever find.
Now I want her to have a parody of Bree's theme song. Heel mode.
Yeah. There you go.
But yes, the Queen.
Yeah.
Well deserved.
I would say,
and given another heel that's been kind of heavily getting pushed over, and the reference there, I think it would be awesome. Again, if we're going to try to merge the divisions a little bit here, and we're going to try to kind of have interactions, I think, assuming he gets his own title, it would be awesome if the Queen of the WWE started hanging out with the King of the Cruiserweights.
There you go.
Just saying.
Yeah, I also give Charlotte a lot of credit for when she was, came onto the main roster. We and other people gave her flack for, it just feels like they're trying to make her like Ric Flair.
Yeah.
It's like copying her stuff. And it feels like they've transitioned her really well from that to being her own person while still having homage to him, like with the robes and stuff like that's totally fine. But it doesn't feel like they're billing her as Ric Flair's daughter. It feels like they're finally billing her as Charlotte, who just happens to be Ric Flair's daughter. And
which I think was the was the point in her in that whole storyline when she rejected her father and threw him out to stand on her own. That kind of really did that for her, and it worked well.
And that's why for me, it was like, that's why I think she was, besides the fact that she's, like headlining the Raw women's division, the fact that she finally got out of her father's shadow is like amazing. Good job.
Yes, definitely. Yeah, she's her own woman now, and it's really great to see. And I think she's going to do well by the younger crop, by the other women in the division once, she's no longer the main event. Let Bayley run with it and run with other people. She's going to make the other women look good.
Oh, yeah, totally. Undeniable.
All right. So
let's see if we can get a unanimous on the final award of the night. Let's see what happens.
I doubt
it. I would be amazed. I'm just going to say.
Okay.
I doubt it. The final award, of course, the one everyone's been waiting for, viewers. It is the male superstar of the year. Now, I got to load this up here. Okay.
God damn it.
Does my creator wrestler count?
Ha!
I did put the best one in his name, so.
My male superstar of the year.
Wait, he created one. You need to put it online yet? What the hell?
I haven't finished his moves.
Oh.
He
hasn't even made himself yet. You two need to get on that, by the way. By the time you do that, 2K18 is going to be out.
Yeah, I know.
Probably. But yes, my...
Dude, sorry. But like, okay, my guy looks good. Wife Blade looks fucking great. I
You made a wife blade? Nice.
Yeah, I made a wife blade. I was like, this turned out really well. And I like got my wife down. I was like, look at that. She's like, damn, that looks really good. I was like, I know. I got to give you moves. I want to use you more than I use me.
Did you put her face on it?
No, I just made one.
Oh.
Yeah, you need to give yourselves moves and put yourselves online so I can download the two of you and put you in my career mode. Have you shown my career mode and in my universe mode?
We're gonna stay. So I got to do that.
Are we gonna form the league for the first time ever in 2K?
Might as well, considering
Sure.
Mola's not considering putting himself online at this point. So
Fair enough.
we might
yes,
as well.
Male Superstar of the Year, and there you go, people. That's right. It is the Prize Fighter Owens fight, the Kevin Owens Show.
Fair
Because
enough.
his year, man, holy fuck. Starts out top of the year beating John Cena for the U.S. title. I mean, come on. That's the first thing you do in the year is you beat John Cena for a title. And now he's the Universal Champion, and he's had such a meteoric rise. They gave him the ball. He's run with it. And just like what I said about Charlotte, he's delivered at every turn. He is the man. He's that good. He's a great heel. He's got charisma. He's great in the ring. And come on, we got the gift of Jericho. Drink it in, man.
It's true. I would like to make one point here to the people watching at home, though.
What's that?
Now, look over there. See Kevin Owens over there? I think I'm pointing in the right direction. I'm pointing in the right direction. Anyway, see Kevin Owens over there. I'm going to focus on you so I can put the picture up. See Kevin Owens. I'd like to point out, see, he's the Universal Champion. Has been for quite a while. I'd like to make the point that before that happened, there was a triple threat match to determine the Universal Champion between him, Rollins, and Reigns. We had a discussion about this match, and I specifically said to Jeff, I think it would be really cool if they gave Kevin Owens the belt because he's a prize fighter. Give him a prize, he'll defend it, and he'll be a great top of the line heel. And they can, have this, have Reigns or Rollins feud with him and have the other do something else. I think it would be great if they gave Owens a title. I think it would work. We debated for days where Jeff said they would not give Kevin Owens a title. It would not work. He wasn't ready. They wouldn't do it. Well, fuck you.
I didn't think he was ready. He proved me wrong. That's why he made the list.
Apparently.
I want to admit I was wrong. He proved me wrong. He's great. He surprised the hell out of me.
Yeah, I called that shit.
You did call that shit.
All right.
But he is my male superstar of the year.
And well deserved. John.
All right, so mine might be possibly bigger mark bait than Kevin Owens.
Ooh.
Wow, 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 wow. I had to go with Shinsuke Nakamura because that shit sold the NXT edition, and he is over in the way that somebody that does not speak very much English has ever been, I think.
Probably.
Wrong style.
He's the kind of wrestler that you see him wrestle and you just become a fan. You're like, shit, he's really good. Wow. And just, there's small ways that he does something unique and you're like, oh yeah. And like with the strong style and like kicking the shit out of people and Austin Aries' poor eye and shit like that. And you're just like, wow. You're like, this guy's like vicious, but also really good. And he's and even though it's like that strong style, he's still not like hurting a lot of people. Like the Austin Aries thing was probably like a fluke. He hasn't injured other people. He's been in the match with Samoa Joe's still holding up, and just he's amazingly over where he comes out and the people are just all over the intro, like more than even fandangoing and stuff. Like it's just I had to give it to him because he made a huge impact for someone that had a lot of hype and actually lived up to it, and that's what impressed me a lot because I was just like, yes, like Japanese wrestling is good, and but I'll wait to see him. And he shows up, and I'm like, shit, this guy's good.
Yeah, and I have to say, Andy, what did you do with John? Because literally, Andy straight up took Nakamura's entrance, music, and Titantron for his creator wrestler.
He replaced John Cena. And also,
pretty much.
It's me, Jeff. It was me all along.
Yeah.
Just passing through.
Pretty much. But to his credit, he does still have every finishing move.
Nice.
Yep. And of course, another wrestler that fits that what you just said, that mold, that build, is Asuka. Kana.
Yes.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
When I saw her wrestle, I was like, shit.
Yeah. Even if she did kick Emma in the head so hard, she thinks she's Emelina now.
Fact. But yeah, so.
Oh yeah, I could go on for days talking about her, just how good she is. But
oh yeah,
she's definitely really damn good too.
Oh definitely.
Oh yeah. Well, she does one thing that I don't think I've ever seen any diva do.
Mm-hmm.
Any women's wrestler do, and that is know how to work a crowd. She is a performer. And I think part of that is because she's Japanese.
Yeah.
And it, Japanese, there's a lot of performing arts that go on in Japan. It's even, in their wrestling and stuff. And she comes out without uttering a single word, can work that entire fucking arena and get them to boo her with pure hatred. That's a gift.
Oh yeah.
Because she can't speak English that well. She doesn't say anything.
Of Asuka. Drink it in, man.
I mean, and with her wrestling style, she literally, like you said, she just comes in, kicks the head off of whatever face happens to be there that day. Boom, instant heat.
After you said that, Jim, I was really hoping your image would just flash to her doing like that creepy ass smile. Drink it in, man.
Like, and there's that too. The way she can manipulate her body just to convey without words. I mean, that's powerful, and that's not something you see in wrestling a lot. That's someone, that male or female, that could do that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, she's got really good like body language.
Yeah.
Shinsuke is just a JoJo character.
Yes.
Or oh god, no! Someone else describe. I think I saw someone describe him as Michael Jackson's Thriller outfit gains sentience or something. I was like, yeah, I'm gonna go with that. I like
that. Works.
Yeah.
That works.
God, now you make me want to take Shinsuke Nakamura and give him Thriller as his theme song.
Do it.
By the way, that reminds me, completely with NXT. Speaking of people from Japan and that are really over, what the fuck happened to Kenta?
He had the unfortunate. He unfortunately came in immediately after they fired CM Punk.
He got injured.
He
got injured, came back, and then got injured again.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
I mean, I was kind of scared something like this would happen when it's like, we hate CM Punk. Let's hire the guy who created his move. It's like, oh god.
Which, by the way, completely unrelated. Oh, by the way, when I was scouring these awards, tell me if this doesn't sound awesome.
Okay.
So there's a clip from Total Divas. Where Daniel Bryan is not actually performing it, is demonstrating a move.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
And he's using both the Bellers are there. He's using one of them for the move. I'm not sure which one.
Uh-huh.
I would assume Brie, since didn't Nikki have a broken freaking neck at that time?
That's true. So it's probably Brie pre-pregnancy then. So he's using Brie to demonstrate the move. And I really wish that Nikki was, presumably, to pitch this as a finish. Yes. Imagine the GTS setup.
Right.
Okay. The setup, the fireman's carry position.
Right.
So imagine you throw them off and go like you're going for the GTS.
Mm-hmm.
And like drop the phone like you're going to hit it with the knee, like you're going to GTS them. But then instead, you put them up, drop them GTS style, and then bell a hammer.
That would be kind of cool.
Because he went, like, he did it really slowly because he didn't want to hurt Brie, but he went and like brought her down and went boom like this. Like there's a GIF of him performing the move. I'll show it to you after the recording. But I'm like, that's kind of cool. I would have liked to have seen her use that.
Fair enough.
Because he doesn't drop from the knee. So basically it's like he goes up, puts them down, and almost drops them on their feet, and then right as they're about to hit their feet, boom, bell a hammer.
GTS 2.0.
GTS into bell a hammer, and it looked impressive.
Fair enough.
GTS more like GTFO.
Oh!
Close us out, Mustache.
Indeed. So my superstar of the year, as I was thinking about people in the company and what they have done. There's a lot of people who have done a lot of great things this year, but there is one that just stands out to me. We've mentioned him earlier in the night. And in fact, he has something in common with your superstar of the year, Jeff.
Oh, you are giving it to him. Okay.
He's on
When
the
he-
list.
No, not Jericho. Not Jericho. Because he has something in common with your superstar of the year. Do you know what that is?
Bat?
He's the
What?
same person. Nice.
He beat up John Cena.
That's why I did that. I don't have his gloves.
Yeah. You should buy his gloves.
But I thought
Yes,
I thought we discovered their shit.
Well, the logo is shit. The gloves are good. The logo apparently wears off. But yes, AJ Styles. Because what the fucking year this guy has had.
Yeah.
Showed up in the Royal Rumble to the biggest pop in years in the Royal Rumble. Stayed in there for a good long time. Established himself. Worked with Jericho to get himself over, which is the best way to get yourself over in the WWE if you haven't been there, I might add. They did a tag team, Y2AJ, to the point of T-shirts, only to him immediately heel turn and then feud with Jericho. They went back and forth, had a couple of great matches with each other to really establish what AJ could do. Then AJ immediately went up to the big dog, beat up John Cena again, took the world title, and then became the dominant force of SmackDown. And has held that title ever since, facing all comers, including Dean Ambrose multiple times, the Chinless Wonder, James Ellsworth, and everybody who stepped up to him. AJ has put them down, and he's done it while getting his friends, the club, over while he had the opportunity. He's done it while having the fans who obviously like AJ and are behind him, but still hating him because of his heel persona, because he's so arrogant in what he does. He's good in the ring. He's good on the mic. He's just exploded into this company into an irreplaceable part of the SmackDown roster and an amazing world champion. It has to be AJ Styles.
And I am very appreciative that he has held onto the belt as well as he has while being a heel and not being, heel persona 02, where like, even when he had the club, it didn't feel like they were, cheating for him. It felt like he was using them to just beat the shit out of John Cena because that's what he wanted to do. It wasn't like, I need to do that. And I can't stress enough how much I appreciate when they do something like that with a heel, where they're not just like a carbon copy of someone before, where it's just like,
that's one of the big problems WWE has had with heels lately. In recent years, is the fact that they've forgotten how to book a heel that can actually win.
Yeah.
So basically what you're saying is AJ Styles is Seth Rollins done right.
Yeah, basically. I would support that. But basically, yeah. And with the ability to do things and not blow your knee out for no reason.
I was waiting for a dick pic comment, but I'll take
that too. That too. And he doesn't bang the random women in the back because unlike a lot of these assholes, if you look, AJ Styles has been married for like 15 years. He has 2 kids, and they're very happy.
Ooh, I'm gonna make another asshole one. He's also Seth Rollins that doesn't injure people.
Yeah, that too.
Fucking boom. I like
pretty much.
Fuck. And that was bullshit. Anyway, sorry.
Yeah.
Basically. Seth Rollins. Anyway, yeah, AJ Styles has just been great this year, and the fact he's got over as well as he has coming in, and built on his reputation, proved that he deserved the reputation that he had coming in. Because to be honest, I knew of AJ Styles, I had never really watched him, and having watched him this past year with everything that he's done, I wish I had been watching him for years, because AJ Styles is awesome.
Yeah, he was good in his prime back when he was in TNA, when he was the TNA original. Just had that company on his shoulders. He was so good.
Exactly. And that's why he can come in and legitimately stand toe-to-toe with John Cena, because he's built companies. He's been all over the world. He has the reputation to back it up. And he's not afraid to call John Cena on his bullshit, too. Like, I'm not going to face you one-on-one, because if you beat me in this first match, I'm going to be buried. That's stupid. I'm not going to do that. I have a career to think about.
So what you're saying is AJ Styles is simply phenomenal.
He carried TNA, and they put him in a fucking reindeer suit. I just want to throw
Right?
it out there.
Wait a minute. What?
he was like the man there. Like he was champion at some points or whatever. But he was always
No,
really
he
good,
was
really
like the John
solid.
Cena of TNA.
Yeah.
I know.
And at one point, like near the end of it, probably why they just started doing just dumb shit with him. The only one I really remember offhand is they had him dressed as a reindeer one week to wrestle, and you're like, that's not what you do with your top guy. Like maybe as a one-off, if it's like when Christian dressed as Captain Charisma, that shit's funny. If they were like legitimately doing it because it was for some stupid reason, you're like, that's not funny. That's just sad that they would waste talent like that. And that's what they did with AJ, and that's why he left. But he's still good. He didn't let that sour him or make him worse. He's just like almost like he's like, fuck it. That bad shit happened, but I'm still gonna stay great, and people recognize that, and it worked.
Yeah. So definitely AJ Styles. He's had a banner year. And I look forward to the coming year, specifically in about 3 weeks' time, when he goes to the Royal Rumble and does what he does best, beat up John Cena.
Indeed.
And I hope that he does, because I want AJ to hold on to the title, because I'm kind of hoping that AJ will get to be in the title WrestleMania match, possibly against John Cena, maybe against the Royal Rumble winner, whoever that might be. We shall see.
You don't want John Cena to win the title to give you massive points?
I would like to get points from John Cena. I would be fine with that if it does, because I will get points out of that. But even if John Cena wins the title at the Royal Rumble, I'm still 900 points behind. I'm not winning. I'm not even coming in second. It's not happening at this point. It's irrelevant.
Fair enough.
So might as well let AJ push into WrestleMania. Let AJ have his big WrestleMania match, his WrestleMania moment.
I agree.
Hell, you want to book a SmackDown match on AJ, have a WrestleMania moment? Let AJ defend the title against Undertaker. Do that shit.
That could work.
That'd be great.
Or the other dream match, if he ever came back, but chances are he's not going to come out.
He's already said he's not coming back. He's done. He's done.
AJ versus Shawn Michaels. Imagine that match, though.
That'd be really good.
Mm-hmm.
The Chin versus the Clash.
Yeah. But let's be honest. Like I said, Shawn Michaels is done. He has his hunting show. He's happy with what he's doing. He's fine. He's fine coming back once in a while to do the mocap for Braun Strowman's kip up. But aside from that, he's pretty much happy with what he's doing.
Goofball Hangouts canon.
Well, he does still work for WWE.
No, Braun Strowman. Maybe he's like a suit that Shawn Michaels is inside.
Ah.
Braun Strowman. Have you ever seen him in the same place at the same time?
So what you're saying is Braun Strowman is the Vince Buster?
Yes. That's a way better example. I was going to use that character from fucking Guilty Gear that I don't remember the name of, where it's like a chick inside an old man that's actually a robot suit.
Or if you prefer, you can call him Braun Max.
I'm going to go with Vince Buster.
Yeah, that'll work.
Sami Zayn Buster. I don't know why he needs giant armor for that, but apparently he does.
Yeah, who knows?
Yeah, I think Sean's like the
talent buster.
There you go.
Oh shit! I need to rename myself on SmackDown. Hold on.
Yes.
But no, Sean is like isn't he like the head trainer at the Performance Center or something now?
He was supposedly hired for that, according to Kevin Nash on a WWE Network thing, but they have not publicly acknowledged that. So
he is. It's been confirmed. He's a trainer there.
Okay, well, fair enough.
So he's there. That's why he's actually there. Aside from he's going to promote his movie. That's why he's going to show up on Raw. But
he's in a movie?
He's in a WWE movie.
Ah.
The Marine 5. I'm just kidding.
No, it's I can't remember what it's called. It's like it's actually kind of funny because it's like a religious type movie kind of thing. But he's not playing the religious guy. He's playing the convict, which is like, wait, what?
Let's see. That will be The Resurrection of Gavin Stone.
Yeah, that's the one.
A former child star, now a washed-up celebrity, pretends to be a person of faith so he can portray Jesus in a passion play being produced by a megachurch. And I'm actually okay. I'm actually okay with this because the movie is starring Brett Dalton, so I'm okay with this.
And Shawn Michaels is playing the convict.
Yeah,
The born-again Christian is playing the ex-con. Get a load of that one.
Yeah, pretty much.
In a faith movie.
In a faith.
What?
Oh, that reminds me. If we get around to, I don't know if we'll do it now, but don't forget, everybody, coming up in just 10 days is Surf's Up 2 Wave Mania. That's a thing that's still happening. And what is this? Something we called Slight. What the hell is this? Who is it?
Movies.
I got the list in front of me. I'm just checking them. Who is in this movie that we should care about? Why is this a WWE movie? There's no WWE superstars in this movie. Okay, I don't care about that one. There's no superstars in that one. Brothers Blood featuring R-Truth.
What?
Trey Songz and R-Truth are in this movie. It's an action thriller of some kind.
Oh, brother.
And then Seth Rollins has a movie called Temple.
You got God.
Oh, God.
Oh, he's the architect, right? So he helps redesign and rebuild the temple?
No. Here's a bit. The Temple is starring Wesley Snipes.
Some motherfucker's always trying to ice skate uphill.
Along with Anne Heche. And it's produced by Erebus Pictures, which is a collaboration between, I shit you not, WWE Studios and Gene Simmons.
I kind of want to see this movie now.
This is a thing. We don't know what it's about, just who's in it.
I kind of want to see this movie because it's either going to be awesome or a complete train wreck.
Yeah, they've also got the Marine 5 Battleground.
Yeah.
Obviously, some movie called Mohawk. A movie called Mohawk featuring Luke Harper.
Oh, that's right. He is in a movie, isn't he? I forgot about that.
What the hell? Oh, that's right. I forgot about that movie. Killing Hasselhoff.
Oh, yeah, that is a thing, isn't it?
That's a movie. Hulk Hogan is in it.
Wow.
Yeah. If you haven't heard of this, people, this is a movie where, we're totally off awards at this point. This is a movie where Ken Jeong is the star of the movie. And he plays a dude who is basically in a celebrity death pool. You maybe heard of those people take bets on, who's somebody's going to live longer. And his goal is to win. Yeah, exactly. His goal is to win money by killing David Hasselhoff so that he wins the pool.
Isn't that Marcus Shadow's origin story?
I guess. Oh, God, we're going in that direction. The Flintstones wasn't enough. WWE's crossing over with the Jetsons next.
I'm just waiting
for happening.
WWE Wacky Races.
Yeah. What else we got? On the plus side, we got the Rock in a movie.
Moana.
It's a remake of The Fall Guy.
Oh, that's been
confirmed. Never heard of that movie. Yep.
Fall Guy was a TV show.
Okay, well, it's a remake of the TV show. DreamWorks is apparently working on it along with some other people.
The Fall Guy was a TV show starring Lee Majors.
A TV show remade
yes, I see that
into
now.
a movie 20 years later. What could possibly go wrong?
I'm still waiting for WWE to strike a deal with Steven Spielberg and cross him over with the Animaniacs.
Yep. There's also a movie called Rampage, a movie called The Long Shot, and an untitled film about Gorgeous George, which I would actually like to see.
Curious Golden or Gorgeous George.
But anyway, that's been our award show. Jim, take us out.
Yes, thank you for joining us for the first annual LOGies. We will spend more time analyzing these awards, taking some out, adding some in, and being more ready for next year. We came up with this 2 days ago. Cut us some slack, people. And thank you, too, for joining me as always. And stay tuned, of course, for this coming week. We will do the normal thing that we do on Thursday. We'll see you then, people.
Bye.
Peace.